We saved the best for last. Here, it's the Governor's Cup. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi with you at Lenovo Center. As you can see, everyone filing in, and it's going to be an exciting one here tonight. NC State and North Carolina battling it out again for the Roy Cooper Governor's Cup.
And what a season it's been in terms of matchup these two teams have had. Previous two matchups, overtime game, shootout game back in October, both won from the North Carolina Tar Heels, who are actually the home team here in Lenovo Center today. And we're in for a fantastic game in front of a fantastic crowd, Chris.
Well, as you mentioned, the season series has been exciting. NC State lost in a shootout back in October to the Tar Heels, and North Carolina back at Invisalign Arena on Friday. We're going to take a look at the highlights of a tough overtime loss, and we'll take a look. We'll start with the goals in the first period, Nick. NC State did not come out sharp, and North Carolina took advantage.
No, they didn't at all. This is the second goal from Zukowski for UNC. Just a good snipe, had traffic in front of the NC State defense. But in the third period, it was Shook to Darlene to tie things up as we went into the third. Overtime hockey coming up after that, but UNC was able to get a winner. Ill-advised line change from UNC. It was Daniel Cobber, the winner. Good, nice little feed across there. And really, it was all just this line change. You can see slapping the stick. Matt Grady calling for it. Was wide open the whole time. You sit at the broadcast at the time. He was wide open. Just a bad line change. UNC capitalizes on it. And now NC State 2-5 in overtime games this season. Something they have to work on. 5-6 overall in one-score games. But the overtime and shootout record, not where you want it to be, Chris.
Well, if you look at these two matchups and how they've gone so far, it should set up for a really exciting matchup tonight. As you really look back past this year, obviously a shootout and overtime this year, but if you go back to last year, 3 of the last 4 times these teams have played, it's gone to extra hockey.
Yeah, and the last time these two teams played here was the Carolina Classic. They had to finish up another game before that. That was an overtime game. UNC won it in overtime. Then NC State kind of blew out UNC in the second game of that Carolina Classic at then PNC Arena, now Lenovo Center. You can see it right behind us on the scoreboard. But again, back-to-back overtime shootout wins for UNC. NC State's been having trouble with that. This game goes to overtime. NC State's in a lot of trouble.
All right, we'll take a look at how we expect this game to go and what each team needs to do. But first, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll be closer to the puck drop here for the Governor's Cup. Welcome back to the Lenovo Center as we get set for the Governor's Cup between NC State and North Carolina. And Nick, as we take a look at this game now, and really what you have to do is look back at the previous games here this season for the two teams. And for NC State, it's been the same story for most of the season: discipline and execution.
And you nailed it right there, Chris. You know, coming into this semester, NC State 2 good wins early on against the Blue Hens of Delaware. But then the Liberty weekend, they blew a 2-goal lead against them up in Lynchburg, lost that game in a shootout. Discipline was a big issue in that one. Next day, they lose in overtime to Liberty. Discipline an issue there. You go to Virginia Tech, the game they lost in Invisalign Arena. That was execution and discipline. And then this past Friday, the game against the Tar Heels where they play against it today as well. That one was more execution, but you can look at the discipline as well. 6 total penalties for NC State, 5 total power plays for UNC, but they killed all 5. They have a really good penalty kill, but it generates good things, and the first goal for UNC generated because of that power play.
Absolutely, and when you look at it as well, energy level going to be important. You're going to have a huge crowd on hand tonight. We're expecting the lower bowl to be pretty much full here at Lenovo Center. So to be a great crowd, both teams are going to have fans who they'll be able to feed off of. But if you look at that game on Friday, NC State came out flat, and North Carolina really made them pay for it in that first period. It reminded me a lot of the game the Tar Heels played down in Charlotte at the beginning of January, where they got romped by Virginia Tech. They just did not show up with the energy to play, and that's what it looked like for NC State. You can't have that tonight.
No, they didn't, and you were able to call that game there, Chris, for the Hokies and Tar Heels. Hokies have had both of these teams' numbers this year, but again, that game, UNC just came out flat. How about NC State came out flat against South Carolina in Charlotte for that third period as well? And this past Friday, NC State, their home crowd, 95-5 NC State to UNC fans. They could not feed off the energy. And in the second period at times, you were like, is this a full crowd right now? Because they weren't generating any energy for the fans to cheer about. And because of that, I think NC State never got to really feed off of it towards the end of the game, where they had their comeback, they were able to tie things up. But overall, whatever team can harvest more energy from their fan base today is going to be victorious.
Absolutely, and we talk about the atmosphere that's going to add some pressure to this game, might create some mistakes. The other thing that's going to add pressure is postseason implications. NC State with the loss to North Carolina, who's 11th in the region, that's going to hurt their standings there in the regional rankings. And the top 6 teams, top 2 go to nationals, out of the region. Then the next 4, 3 through 6, all get a bye in the first round of regionals, which is big when it comes to preserving energy and being able to have what you need to win that second game or that third game if you need it, if you're one of those teams that doesn't get a bye. So there's going to be some pressure on the line when it comes to postseason implications as well.
There is, and we were able to talk with assistant coach Alex Fong before the game here today for the NC State Ice Pack. And he said before that loss to UNC, they were sitting around 6th or 7th in the rankings. They were ranked 7th, but they were knocking on the door 6th. If they won out, he said, more than likely going to get that bye in regionals. That loss hurts them a lot because UNC comes in ranked 11th. They entered that game losing 8 of their last 10, but they found things right. Even after getting swept by Wilmington the week before, UNC found something that worked. They played a really good defensive game, something they've struggled with all season, and it worked. And today, if they're able to repeat that, UNC might be able to slide up a good bit in those regional rankings as well.
Well, as you mentioned, North Carolina has had NC State's number, a shootout win at Invisalign Arena back in October, an overtime win at the same venue just a couple of nights ago. We'll talk a little bit more about what these two teams need to do as we get set for Puck Drop when we return.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Excite OSA is the world's first clinically proven daytime therapy for mild obstructive sleep apnea and primary snoring, whether at home or on the go. Just 20 minutes a day keeps the snoring away. Visit goodnightrx.com and get a good night's sleep every night.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Experience matters. Visit Gladwell Orthodontics for your complimentary new patient exam. North Carolina's #1 Invisalign provider. Let us show you why you are a candidate for Invisalign.
It's just about time for the Governor's Cup here at Lenovo Center. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you. It's a big one here to end the regular season. And Nick, there's no more special game, at least regular season-wise, than this one.
No, there isn't. This is the crown jewel game in Southern hockey, in my opinion, in terms of college hockey. North Carolina, NC State, Carolina, Tobacco Road, whatever you want to call it. This rivalry is fierce, and it's going to show its fierceness today. Both teams have to keep their emotions in check today to be able to be victorious. I think overall, again, harvest the energy from the crowd. That's going to be key. Yep. A lot more Carolina blue in here than years past. That's something that's going to be beneficial for UNC. They're the home team, but NC State's got some nice new red uniforms.
Well, they're just about set to get things rolling. Both teams about to take the ice. Former Governor Roy Cooper, the namesake of the Governor's Cup, will join us on the broadcaster in the first period. He'll be down there for the ceremonial puck drop as well. We're going to step aside for a moment. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups, we'll have our Perazzi points, and we'll be ready for the Governor's Cup here on ESPN+. The Lenovo Center filling up here in Raleigh, North Carolina for the Governor's Cup as North Carolina and NC State get set to rock and roll here at the home of the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. We're going to start with the home team, the North Carolina Tar Heels. They'll go with Nick Gingras along with Patrick O'Shaughnessy and Will Smith up front. On the back end, they've got Will Hilton and Drew Smith in the lineup. In goal, it was Andr Andreev in the game on Friday. Tonight, it will be the junior Lucas Brown. On the other side, for the Ice Pack, they're going to go with that starting line of Zach Herman, Jake Gifford, and Daniel Prasma, Tate Sawden and Andrew Thronson on the back end, and Isaac Toyer between the pipes tonight. Nick Perazzi alongside me, Chris Lehman. As we get set to go, we're going to take a look now at our Perazzi points, and I'll throw it to my partner for those.
Well, it's the Governor's Cup, Chris. We're going to have a North Carolina theme for these two great North Carolina schools. Everyone knows North Carolina barbecue is the best barbecue on the planet. Barbecue chicken, win the dirty areas. Shaquille O'Neal would always say the paint is the dirty area in basketball. Barbecue chicken alert when you get down there. That's what is going to be the key today. Win those board battles, especially in down low right in front of the net. Drink some Cheerwine, my favorite drink that North Carolina's ever done. And they got to play as a team. You know, just that sweet cherry taste you get from Cheerwine. If you play as a team, it's going to be very beneficial. NC State just didn't play as cohesive as they did Friday. That's a big reason why they lost. And finally, first in flight. Be the first for everything. First to make the big hit, first to score, first to win the first board battle. If you're going to be the first to win everything, you're going to have a great chance to win the game.
Well, partner, as always, doing a great job with the Perazzi points for tonight. Is now former Governor Roy Cooper heads out to center ice. He will drop the ceremonial first puck with captains Patrick O'Shaughnessy of North Carolina and Zach Herman of NC State. The former governor, a huge supporter of hockey here in North Carolina, and it just goes to show you the support that's in the area, not just for the Hurricanes now, but for college hockey as well.
Yeah, I mean, look at this crowd as well, Chris. I mean, college hockey selling out the whole lower bowl pretty much of an NHL level arena is just crazy to see. And the man walking down on the red carpet right now, he's a big factor of that. A long-time Hurricanes fan. He's had season tickets. He loves the sport, and he loves growing it.
Well, that's a big reason why he is now the namesake of the Governor's Cup. But you talk about the crowd that's on hand tonight, and you just look back at the original Governor's Cup, and NC State, and North Carolina, they only filled one half on one side of the lower bowl. Now they've got both bands here. They're filling up almost the entire lower bowl. It's an incredible experience now. There's the anthem, and now there's nothing left to do but drop the puck and get this one started. NC State and North Carolina for the Governor's Cup and the final game of the regular season. And Nick, one thing we haven't talked a whole lot about is the new jerseys for NC State. A lot of buzz around those released yesterday. The Raleigh jerseys, they're pretty snappy.
I really like them, Chris. It represents the city. Some people complained about them saying, well, they're not the city. They're not called Raleigh University. SMU has Dallas. There's plenty of other schools that do it too. Just a 6'6" jersey, and they got a little 919 acorn as well with City of Oaks represented. Harrison Eaton did a fantastic job with the promo for these jerseys as well. Heard some of the numbers that they have. They've sold a lot of jerseys so far, Chris.
Oh, yeah, and I can see why. They look awesome. And NC State hoping to start with a 1-0 record in those new Raleigh uniforms. Well, the Tar Heels wearing those same white uniforms they wore on Friday night. And they will move left to right across your screen here in period number 1 with the NC State Ice Pack in those new red uniforms moving right to left. And as we look at the two goaltenders in net, you see the starter for the Tar Heels in Lucas Brown. He's been strong in games against the Ice Pack.
Oh, he has. He's definitely taken games over. Specifically last season, I remember the Carolina Clash, that first game that they finished up here, had a fantastic game, snagged a lot of great saves. And this season, 5-6-1 record, 49 goals allowed, 4.04 goals against average. Again, not going to say the save percentage because I don't trust it. I think ACHA is missing some shots on goal. They're doing Lucas and Onder a little dirty there, but what a fantastic goalie, and he knows how big this rivalry is, and he plays his best goaltending when he goes up against the boys in red.
We're just about set to get things going here. Zach Herman will take the opening draw for NC State. Should be up against the captain on the other side in Patrick O'Shaughnessy. And we talked about O'Shaughnessy a little bit before the broadcast started, Nick. He's a dangerous player. Didn't hear a lot from him on Friday, though.
No, we were talking about how that first line for UNC, and frankly, to me, they were a little disappointing. But at the top of the broadcast, we said the winner of this game is going to be depth on Friday night, and that's exactly what happened. Getting goals from Cobber, they got one from Zukowski, and then just a fantastic job overall, Drew Smith, the other one.
Oh, we're ready to rock and roll. Opening draw at center ice, fought for and advanced by NC State's Prasma. He'll push it deep. Prasma wearing 26 tonight instead of his typical 37. Chipped deep by the Tar Heels. First one to it, Sodden sweeps it up the wall, taken by Gingras. Played back behind, past O'Shaughnessy. Smith will track it down in the corner, sweeps it back behind the goal again. Sodden plays it along the wall. Prasma will collect, cuts to the middle and has space there through the neutral zone. Works around O'Shaughnessy, weaving in. Prasma from the high slot, glove save made by Lucas Brown. Tar Heels looking to clear and can't. Loose puck in the slot, collected by Prasma. Plays it over to the far side, can't connect there with Herman, and the Tar Heels will advance it back out. They'll gain the red line and chip it in. Good first shift for that top line of NC State. Failed clearance. Zajic deflected just wide of Toyer. NC State looking to break it up and out. Thronson goes D to D. Forward for Gifford. He'll play it all the way down. NC State needs to get a change. Moved forward by Zukowski up the left wing. Looking to shoot, pinballs through and just misses wide of the far post. Big hit behind the goal. NC State will come away with a loose puck. Talon Langston elevates it up and out, trying to connect with Johnson. It's through the skates of Gleason and down to the goaltender Brown. He'll twirl it around behind the goal. Langston there to keep it in for the moment. Heels now pushing it up and out. Collected just past the blue line by Cobber. Into the middle now he's got Grady. Shoots it just wide. Zukowski trying to get to it along the side of the goal. NC State, though, takes it away. And it'll be Langston skating it up the left side. Looking to the middle, he's got Gifford. Gifford working on Ma. Decides to go deep with it. In on the forecheck is Johnson. He'll take it away from Edwards. Reese Johnson stuck there with a pair of Tar Heels. Gifford coming in to help now as Talon Langston heads off for a much-needed change. 2 minutes gone in this first period. Played to the middle and deflected just wide by Kaufman and out. And we'll get our first stoppage. 2:05 into the first period. And both teams have traded chances. We've got a very special guest now joining us. The namesake of the Governor's Cup, Roy Cooper, joining us here. And your first time not as the governor in that official capacity.
That's right. A little bit liberating, I'd say. But love being here tonight. This is exciting.
Happy to have you join us here in the broadcast. Big collision down on the near boards. NC State will keep it deep. Hacked at by Hilton. It deflects off an Ice Pack player and back to the middle. And Drew Smith will circle behind. Separated from the puck by Shook. NC State has it. Kaufman near circle. Played across and it's off the toe of Brown and wide. Good pressure here from the Ice Pack. They'll scrum for it below the goal line. Squirts loose for James. He'll look things over. Absorbs a hit, but can't keep the puck. Tar Heels have a chance to break it out. Gilligan knocked off the puck nicely by Brenner. Good hustle from Shook to keep it in. NC State doesn't have the manpower, though, to keep it. Chip deep and knocked wide by Toyer. And now NC State has a chance to regroup. McEnany plays it all the way across, off the wall. First one to it is Hilton. He'll slap it off the glass, and the Tar Heels reverse. Now chipped forward by Sodden. He's got Robinson advancing in. Past Zayat, looking to the middle, and it's going to be covered up by Lucas Brown. Another good chance for NC State.
These two teams last night, or Friday night, they played a very close game. Went into overtime, and so it looks like we may be in for another good one here.
Oh, yeah, these two teams, they don't shy away from each other. 3 of the last 4 times they've met have gone to overtime or to a shootout. And we expect nothing less here tonight. And you look at the atmosphere, the crowd continues to grow for this game.
There was a lot of tailgating that I saw coming in, and people are very excited about tonight.
Well, the two teams not disappointing so far. Still looking for the first goal, but it's not for lack of chances. Sodden at his own blue line. Off the wall, hacked at and sent deep by Emory Oliver. NC State's forward line needs a change. Played back around for Mangle. Has some trouble corralling it. Now Finch will move it back. Finch into the zone. Chipped right back out, though, by Ansbacher. And now Prasma. Starting to see things settle down a bit. Prasma trying to change that, though. Walking in. Slides it wide of the near post. On the blue line, it'll be Weglar shooting it back around. Prasma again. He's been all over the ice so far tonight. Good look to the near side for Weglars. Throws it across, deflected. Oh, it got caught up in the skates. The second try for Prasma doesn't go, and the Tar Heels clear it from danger.
IcePack is really putting on the pressure here.
Yeah, a little bit of a role reversal from Friday night. It was North Carolina all over NC State in the first period. NC State with the lion's share of chances. Here's another one off the side of the goal for Finch, trying to steer it out in front, and it'll be taken away by the Tar Heel defense. Kicked out by Gingras. Trying to connect with O'Shaughnessy, but NC State flips it back out. Now Herman moving in. Steps around Zayat and lost an edge. Tar Heels take it back. Beautiful steal, though, by Gifford. He finds Herman in, and he slides it just wide again. Chances galore for the IcePack right now. Now O'Shaughnessy forcing it in. The Tar Heel captain in on the forecheck. Darlene sends it around the wall. Johnson pool cues it out of the zone. Kicks it along past Ma and then takes a hit there from Smith. That'll separate him from the puck. Back up for Frosch, looking across, and it gets stuck in the skates of Cobber. He'll move it down low now. Langston plays it along. Darlene will pinch in for it. Smith puts a body on him. Ma takes the loose puck. Tar Heels now will advance out. O'Shaughnessy walking in. Pestered from behind. He'll elevate it up and over top, and it'll work its way out of the zone. Starting to see a little pushback, though, from the Tar Heels here. In the corner, they'll fight for it. Darlene, 1-on-2. Cobber takes it away. He was the overtime hero on Friday. He'll throw it off the chest protector of Toyer, and it'll deflect over to the far corner. Still loose on the crease. One-timer, they score. This isn't going to count, though. The whistle was blown, and we've got a couple of players going at it after the whistle.
Yeah, you could hear that whistle. They decided not to.
Well, I'm seeing a little bit of carryover of the emotion, I think, from Friday night. These two teams don't like each other very much.
Well, I was talking to some of the friends of the team before the game, before the ceremonial puck drop here, and there was lots of revenge talk from Friday night. They were ready for it.
We talked about it on Friday. It's a revenge weekend for NC State. They've lost back-to-back Governor's Cups. They've lost a couple games in a row as well to the Tar Heels outside of that. And so they're looking to get it back. But I'll tell you, Governor, obviously your alma mater showing out with a lot of light blue that we can see so far. Moved around and cleared up the wall. Tar Heels hold it in. Chip down low for Grady. Quickly knocked off his stick. Brenner will break it out. Trying to connect there with Shook, but it's Drew Smith taking possession. Smith able to corral and move to the near wall. Grady throws it on goal. Glove save. Toyer holds on to it for the whistle.
What was the number of shots look like Friday night?
The shot total on Friday night
favored the spot here.
Favored the Tar Heels 37-24, and you look at the third period in overtime, they actually outshot NC State fairly significantly. Particularly in overtime, they held NC State shotless. But I think in this first period so far, I think the Ice Pack have a little bit more of that advantage.
A lot of shots in 6 minutes here.
Now Sodden will touch up. We've got a whistle. And we'll see what comes of it. Looks like the faceoff going to come back out of the zone.
It's really filling up in here, Chris, and it's exciting to see hockey in North Carolina continuing to grow, particularly the youth hockey.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, it means a lot to our economy when we see the success of the Hurricanes, and particularly the big trade that just occurred.
Oh, yeah.
Big deal right now.
Very exciting one to pick up Mikko Rantanen. And you can see, too, the college environment in terms of hockey picking up as well. As you mentioned, a pretty full bowl and still filling up here in this first period. NC State back to work. Hit from behind there. That's going to draw the first power play of the game.
Oh.
Toyer to the bench. NC State with the extra attack. Deflected in. They're not going to need the power play. It's Kaufman on the tip in front. NC State has the lead.
Took advantage of it quickly there.
And some good traffic in front, and the hand-eye coordination of Holden Kaufman, a good one as well.
So last night, NC State engineered the comeback. We'll see if the Tar Heels can do it tonight.
We'll get another look at it there at the beginning. You saw the initial penalty call. And then just a shot from the point, traffic in front, and you just need a little bit of luck sometimes.
Was that off a skate?
Not sure.
Yeah.
It was close. It was. Good catch. Very good catch. So NC State with the extra attacker on the delayed penalty, able to open up the scoring. Just a little under 7 minutes in. We'll go right back to work as the Tar Heels break it out. Lifted out by Ma. Right to Weglars, and the Ice Pack send it back the other way. Kevin Ma once again. Deflected in by Hu, and it'll trickle right in on Toyer. They'll seal it off for a face-off.
The same two goaltenders tonight as Friday night?
Actually, two different goaltenders.
Okay.
And both teams are lucky to have two really strong goaltenders. Andra Andreev was in net for North Carolina. On Friday, it was Addison Lawrence, the senior for NC State. Quick shot off the draw from Hu, and it elevated over top. 6:57. Along the near wall, McEnany tries to force it out, held in by Smith. He'll go D to D. Shot coming from Hilton, misses and hits the glass behind. That'll give NC State a chance to skate it out. McEnany looking for space, plays it to Langston, who has trouble holding on to it. Ansbacher back the other way. His shot hits a body, deflected back out in front there by Mengel, but NC State finds the loose puck. Some speed for Prasma right around Smith. He's going to walk it in now on Gingras, who forces him off the puck nicely and shuts down that attack. This is not the first game at Lenovo Center for NC State this year. They actually played against the Hurricanes alumni.
They played well.
Chance for James in front. Yeah, certainly. I'm not sure which is more intimidating, the crowd and the atmosphere tonight, or playing against some former Stanley Cup champions. As a man taken down in front, and now the Tar Heels will get their first power play.
With a few years on them, though.
Just a few. Just a few. I don't know. The head coach, Rod Brindamore, doesn't look like it.
No, he doesn't.
Scored a nice goal.
No, he doesn't. Rod the Bod. They don't call him Rod the Bod for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
He's still pretty strenuous in his exercise regimen.
Oh, you hear the stories from everybody.
Yeah.
Even as the coach, he's the first one in.
And you expect it from your players. You show it as a coach. I think that matters. It's part of the atmosphere that Rod Brindamore has created here with the Carolina Hurricanes. And having Mikko Rantanen here is just a huge trade early in the process, way before the deadline. And now we've got this opportunity to really make sure that we're ready on the offensive side in the playoffs. It's exciting.
What I had to ask is, as former governor, you obviously know plenty of people in the organization. They give you any heads up that was coming?
Tulsky continued to talk about the fact that he was working on things because I would see him. I'd say, all in, man. All in, man. Of course, I was disappointed. I very much wanted the Stanley Cup in my last year as governor, but not to be. But
might be able to enjoy it a little bit more if they can get it
afterwards. Maybe so. But, okay, get this power play going here.
The Tar Heels
take their time about it.
Had 5 power play opportunities, were unable to score on Friday. NC State doing a good job of what they did on Friday, keeping the puck to the outside. O'Shaughnessy down low. Smith looking to the middle. It's off of Thronson and behind the goal. Cobber has it stripped away. Failed clearance, though. O'Shaughnessy back for Hilton. Moved along to O'Shaughnessy and down low for Smith once more. A little over halfway through the man advantage. Hilton up top, throws it through traffic. Swallowed up by Toyer. Does a great job of keeping the rebound. 50 seconds left on the penalty to Dahlin. 10:29 left in this first period. Chris Lehman joined right now by former Governor Roy Cooper. And you actually were able to go down and talk to both teams pre-game. What was the message for the two squads?
Well, I told them I was really proud of what they've done for hockey in North Carolina and the excitement that they have generated and how important it is for us to continue to grow the college sport of hockey here in North Carolina. And I think these guys are very proud of that. And I was honored that they wanted to name this cup after me. I've not had anything named after me. It's not anything I've sought in my life, but I was told this is what they wanted to do, and I was thinking, this is better than a bridge or a building. This is a great thing. It's a sport I love so much, and it has really become a thing here. This Governor's Cup game. You see the people here and the excitement that has been generated. It's great having the pep bands here. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, and NC State lucky enough at most of their home games to have part of the Power Sound of the South renamed Frigid Sound of the Ice for the hockey team. Love it.
And sporting the new Raleigh sweaters tonight. That's I like it.
Nice fresh look. NC State breaks it out. Power play is over for the Tar Heels. 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 6 on the weekend now. And they got a lot of zone time, but like I said, just not able to get to the middle. NC State's penalty kill doing a good job.
Penalty kill is tight.
Here's Herman out in front. Chance just high for Finch. NC State back to work now that they're at full strength. Now Edwards elevates it out and takes a hit. Glove down by Alex James. No button hook for space. Throws it off a body trying to clear it in. Cleaned up, though, by Prasba. He'll be stopped up at the blue line by Zukowski. 11 minutes gone in this first period. NC State with the deflection from Kaufman. They have the lead 1-0. Finch tracks it down. Herman gives it back. A pass off the mark there. It'll be stolen away by Katsias. Xander Katsias looking for some help. Has Gilligan coming in late. Good back check from Finch. Gilligan takes it right back, though. Trickles back up to the top of the circle, and the shot from Plonick deflects wide. Finch going after it. Beat to it by Katsias. Played down low for Gilligan. Looking out in front. Stuck in skates, and it will pinball back over to the far side. James steers it up the wall. Finch throws it the rest of the way out, and NC State escapes danger. We're starting to see the Tar Heels with some pushback. Maybe generating a little momentum off that power play. Tough play in front. Chance there for Gilligan, and it's sealed off by Toyer. NC State getting a little bit sloppy here. Now Herman has some space to advance it forward. Hands it off there for Johnson. Back for Herman, and he deflects it just wide. Johnson back to the puck on the near side. Backhanded down below the goal line. Jack Gleason now in control. Pestered from behind there by Gifford. He'll just elevate it up and out. And all the way down. Mangle first to it for the Heels. Hand it off there for Ansbacher. He's stripped of the puck. Langston moves it back out. Now Holden Kaufman on the headman pass. Played to the middle. Langston deflects it just wide. And it'll be covered up by Brown with 7:23 to go in the first period. A 1-0 lead right now for NC State. Joined here on the broadcast by former Governor Roy Cooper. And I got to ask you one thing I was curious about on the drive in. here today to ask you, as the governor, what perk do you not have anymore that you miss the most?
I've said often that the thing I miss most about being governor is ingress and egress to sporting events. Ooh, nice shot.
Right off the face-off, it'll be covered up by Lucas Brown.
Yeah, it's a great thing to take you in the back door and take you to your seat.
Oh, yeah.
Don't have to worry about it. And
I think you might be able to parlay the former governorship into some of that.
You know, it's time for people to have their day. And, you know, I missed the part of, you know, sitting in the stands and just being able to enjoy a game. I had season tickets for years with the Hurricanes in Section 125 on the south end down there. Was here during the Stanley Cup, both Stanley Cup runs actually, in 02 and 06. And I think Game 7 against Edmonton in 2006 was the greatest sporting event I've ever been to. It's amazing.
Hard to argue with that. Everyone's standing the entire way.
The entire way, except between periods. Roughing it up a little bit here. You gotta remind people what kind of game this is and what kind of rivalry it is.
Oh yeah, and we've seen the feistiness already, and it's something you kind of hope for in this game when you have the game on Friday to set it up for today.
That's a great idea to have done that, and a very professional way to do it. I mean, that's what you do in a back-to-back, not a back-to-back night, but back-to-back games.
Shot off the face-off for Edwards, deflects wide. Grady will play it down low for Cobber. His centering pass shut down, and it's stuck on the side of the goal. That'll stop play for the moment.
Yeah, that was a great event to witness, and you know, we had blown our lead in that series. And it was tough, but it was so exciting. Oh, what a nice one!
Another shot off the
quick
face-off.
wrister.
Both teams jumping off of the face-offs trying to get chances. And that's one of those things to me, having been able to watch the college hockey scene here in the area for almost 15 years now as a shot blocked in traffic. But to see the improvement of the teams and the organizations, particularly these two, has been a lot of fun to watch.
You know, I encourage people to support them because they do operate on shoestring budgets, particularly when you look at football and basketball. They need support.
Oh, yeah.
They need people buying tickets, and they need people supporting and donating money, actually.
Absolutely.
Because the players have to provide some money themselves. And, it's important to continue to grow the sport, and unfortunately, money is a big part of success.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing that obviously across the board in football and basketball. And, we want to make sure that hockey is successful here in our college. Wouldn't it be great to see Carolina or State in the Frozen Four one day?
That would be really
really great.
Puck trickles in on Toyer. He'll melt it down with 5:48 to go here in the first period.
I think the interest that's been generated with youth here is continuing to grow, and there's a real competition for ice space now these days.
Zajic with the shot, seen nicely by Toyer. Well, you talk about the youth, and actually, I guess it was about a week and a half ago, NC State hosted Virginia Tech as part of a home-and-home series that weekend, and it was high school hockey night. And I remember, as Carolina wins the draw, Katsios forced off the puck, and Sodom will take over. But I remember growing up, going to Leesville Road High School, they grouped us by school as best they could, but now they've got jerseys for the schools, and you have student sections at the games. It's a great development.
That's super. And, you know, the Hurricanes being here has a lot to do with that interest that's being developed. And kids going to games early, just developing a love for the sport. I didn't have that opportunity growing up in North Carolina when I was young. I didn't know anything about it. And now young people do have the opportunity to see top-notch professional hockey and just college hockey, and they get to play youth sports. it's an exciting time in our state. The third fastest growing state in the country. A lot of people moving to North Carolina, bringing their hockey knowledge and their love for the game.
Hopefully not their affiliations. We'd like them to become Caniacs.
And for a while, we could become the secondary affiliation as long as they come to games and buy tickets and cheer for us when their team's not in town. But the idea is to convert them eventually.
Heavy hit on Prasma down there as he clears the puck out. And that's a guy to watch out for. Number 26 in red. Always likes to stir it up. He's in the middle of a lot of those skirmishes after the whistle. Here's Who. Bodied off the puck by Lapani. Tar Heels still get it deep. Under 5 to go in the first period. It's really kind of settled down since that NC State goal. But the Tar Heels on Friday scored in the final minute of the period. So you never know what can happen.
Well, in talking with both of these coaches, it's pretty clear that they care a lot about the sport and about their teams. And look at that.
Chance in front for Gifford, sent just wide. And I would absolutely agree, having talked with both of them as well and getting to know particularly the NC State staff pretty well. They all make sacrifices to do this.
They do that. And it's important that we have dedicated, knowledgeable people doing it. And these teams look well coached and clearly are exciting to watch.
And good ambassadors for the game, good role models, as we've talked about the development of youth hockey for some of those younger players. Up the wall, NC State can't clear. Held in by Gingras. Into the middle for O'Shaughnessy, can't get the shot away. Tar Heels keep the pressure on though. Ma takes a shot off of Finch. This one will deflect over to the wall again, where Patrick O'Shaughnessy can take over. Back up for Ma. He'll play it across the blue line to Edwards, who sweeps it down low. Now Smith, pestered there by Weglars. Tar Heels able to hold possession though. There's 3 minutes left. This is a lot of zone time right now for North Carolina. Gingras to the side of the goal, and it's off the skate of Smith. He couldn't get the shot away. Now NC State can skate it out, and I think they're going to get a much-needed change. Ma plays it around the wall. Picked up by Zukowski, and he'll throw it down below the goal line in the NC State end. Space now for Dahlin. Picked up his first goal for the Ice Pack in the third period on Friday. Johnson trickles one in on goal, and that'll be held on to by Brown.
Are these teams running 3 lines, Chris? Is that
4 lines?
4 lines, both of them are?
They are. 4 lines, I believe, allowed 20 skaters for the game.
Okay.
So a lot of times, like the NC State lineup right here, a total of 12 forwards across 4 lines, and then they've got an extra defenseman there as a 7th on the back end. But yeah, slightly different than the NHL rules. Of course, we saw that the Hurricanes have to deal with that with some illnesses. Ooh. Chance in front. Oh, a good chance for NC State. We've seen a lot generated off of those faceoffs.
Yeah, I talked to Doug Worf just a few minutes ago, who said that 6 or 7 guys with flu-like symptoms last night for the Kings game. You have to play through it.
Oh, yeah.
That's tough.
So it'll be Talon Langston on the draw for NC State up against Grady, who wins it for the Tar Heels. Zajic hard around for Zukowski, who just lifts it out into neutral ice. Dahlin leaves it at the red line for Langston. Back to the middle. He's got an open man there. Into the middle, just off the skate of Gifford. NC State unable to get a shot away. Final 2 minutes of this first period. NC State with the 1-0 advantage. It was Holden Kaufman in front, just shy of 7 minutes in. And since then, it's kind of gone back and forth for the two teams. James under some pressure. Ice Pack defender moving it around the wall for Talon Langston. He'll turn away from pressure, loses control of the puck though. Gifford coming back to knock it loose, and he does a nice job of getting it down the ice. On the wave off icing as well. NC State gets the change. Here's the goal scorer, Kaufman. Down the wall, Grady has some trouble with a bouncing puck, but the Heels maintain control. Now Smith. Lifted in by Grady. And it looks like it got out of play, and so the faceoff should come out into neutral ice here with 1:15 to go.
Kudos to the crew who worked to switch this arena from entertainment to basketball to hockey. They had 3 in a row they had to do here, so that's impressive.
Really quick turnaround yesterday between the afternoon basketball game and then the hockey game at night.
Sometimes your ice suffers a little bit. The quality of the ice suffers a little bit when you do that. It's hard to.
Oh yeah.
Hard for that not to be, but it's amazing the work that they do in such a quick period of time.
Yeah, the ice has looked pretty good tonight, I would say, too.
It has.
Definitely had some time to, I guess, heal, you could say, from the basketball game yesterday. Here comes Gilligan. Throws it off the pads of Toyer on an off angle. Rebound grabbed down low by Vaglia. He'll be bodied off the puck. NC State getting to it in the corner. Thronson trying to sweep it up the wall and can't. Worked back down low, and Kaufman has it. 37 seconds left in the period. Here's Brenner. Plays it across, and Thronson just throws it off the glass and deep. Kevin Ma puts it off the linesman. Second effort gets it out. 23 seconds left now. To the middle for Shook. That's off the mark. And it's stuck in front of the North Carolina bench right now. Shook will go in on the forecheck. Gingras. One last push here for the Tar Heels. Kevin Ma gets a touch to it. No icing. Lapani first to it. Tied up, though, by Will Smith. O'Shaughnessy in to help out. 4 seconds left in the period. And as NC State sweeps it up that far wall, the period will come to a close. So it's Holden Kaufman with the tally. NC State with the 1-0 lead. Former Governor Cooper, appreciate you joining us.
Very
Thoughts on
much
that first
enjoyed
period?
it. Thank you. Well, both teams played hard. Some pressure created on both offensive ends. Goalies were pretty sharp. I think that goal that got past the Carolina goal was a tough one, bouncing off the skate. So defense looked sharp, but maybe we see a lot of shots tonight. And, see some more. I think we're going to see some real offense come out of it here in the second period. Looking forward to that.
We'll see what happens there. We're going to step aside. Again, Governor Cooper, former Governor Cooper, thank you for joining us here during the first period.
Great to be with you.
1-0 NC State after 20 minutes here at the Lenovo Center. We'll be back. Well, the Ice Pack got off to a better start here on this Sunday evening as they take a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here at the first intermission. And Nick, NC State, as we mentioned, much better first period tonight than Friday.
They were, but I got to give a shout out, address the elephant in the room. What a fantastic job former Governor Roy Cooper did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only going to have a semester left at most here doing the Ice Pack before I go out in the real world. That might be a replacement option right there in Roy Cooper. We joked about it off air as well. He said, I don't think I can do it as good as you can. I was like, we got an opening coming up soon. But again, though, going back to the hockey game, NC State dominated that first part of the period, I believe. The first line for NC State was the most impressive from where I was watching at. Herman, Gifford, and then, of course, Holden Kaufman on that second line, but Plasma as well on that first line. They did a fantastic job. So many missed opportunities in front. But then the little tip from Holden Kaufman in front of the net gave them that 1-0 lead. But I think the last 7 minutes of that period, UNC's forecheck from Friday made its ugly head again if you're NC State, made its beautiful head again if you're UNC.
Well, you talk about that power play. Let's talk about that because it was 0 for 5 on Friday, now 0 for 1 on North Carolina. I mentioned it during the period for the Tar Heels. They're not getting to the interior on the power play.
No, and that was a problem I was saying that they had on Friday was they're moving the puck around a lot, a little too slow for my liking on a power play, but it's allowing NC State to easily rotate, and they can't penetrate into the slot. The problem with that, if you're on the power play, not a lot of open looks. There's going to be a lot of traffic in front, a lot of pucks that can, or excuse me, a lot of legs that the puck can go off of. I think something has to change for this North Carolina power play. 0 for 6 now, going back to Friday. They've got to find a way to solve this NC State team, and I think it's getting to the dirty area and moving the puck around faster.
Yeah, well, NC State was going to get a power play, but they scored with the extra attacker, and Isaac Toyer pulled. It's a tip by Holden Kaufman, who drew the penalty. It's a big one for the Ice Pack.
It is. They needed that goal first. They needed to set the tone early on. And again, though, this NC State team, we've said it all season on the broadcast. The third period's where it matters most. They need a good start, though. You know, they can't blow a lead if they don't have one, as it's been this season, but a good start. Really nice play by Kaufman just to keep playing despite taking the penalty on that cross-check. Just drives down low, had a nice feed for an easy tip-in. 1-0 start for the Ice Pack. They harvest some of this energy, but again, it's a very good mixed crowd. Closer to 50-50. Still think it's about 60-40 NC State, but it's loud, Chris. On our headsets, we don't hear how loud it is. It's genuinely that loud here in Lenovo Center.
Well, I want to take a look at a few players in particular through the first period. One name that I feel like was everywhere, Daniel Plasma. Yeah. Wearing a little bit of a different number, 26 as opposed to 37, but he is a pest and he loves to get in the middle of it.
Oh, he does. And again, that first line for NC State, around the 15-minute mark, right as Roy Cooper took my job for a little bit. He can take it if he wants. He did a fantastic job, but Plasma, Herman, and Gifford, that first line for NC State, they were just everywhere, getting so many chances right in front of the net, in that dirty slot as well, right in front of Lucas Brown. They made him uncomfortable. I thought Lucas Brown was up to the task, but the goal that beat him by Kaufman, fantastic job, though, by NC State, getting that traffic, and the deflections are there for NC State. They're winning the dirty area right now.
Well, I think most importantly, one thing that I said on Friday that didn't actually end up coming to fruition was it was about, for NC State, how they finished, not how they started. One thing that was mentioned to us by the coaching staff earlier today when we went down to talk to them in terms of what they need to do tonight was don't fall behind. No. And they did just that. They're going to have to build on it in the second period.
No, they definitely do. Again, the last time they had a 1-0 lead was against Virginia Tech. They ended up blowing a 3-goal lead very quickly in that game. They have to find a way to hold on to games late, and they've got to make this a multi-goal lead and try to prevent them from blowing another late-game lead.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here at the first intermission. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the adjustments these two teams need to make as we head to period number 2.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better. Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers. Hot springs, hot chocolate. Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese.
Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Experience matters. Visit Gladwell Orthodontics for your complimentary new patient exam. North Carolina's #1 Invisalign provider. Let us show you why you are a candidate for Invisalign.
First intermission of the Governor's Cup, and it's the Ice Pack leading the Tar Heels 1-0. And Nick, as we start to look ahead at period number 2, if you're NC State, I think you want to get back a little bit more to what it looked like early on in that period when they had some sustained zone time.
Yeah, they do. And again, we mentioned on that last break, this UNC forecheck is a big reason why Friday's game was low scoring and why UNC won and got out to a 2-goal lead was because of their forecheck. They're doing a fantastic job once again towards the end of the period at least, where they're just setting the puck in deep. NC State's having trouble bringing it back out, and UNC gets to work because of it. It's rinse and repeat. The only problem for UNC, this is not a high-scoring fashion of how their team likes to play. This is not how really they like to play, but this is how they play NC State. They want to play these low-scoring games, very contrast how UNC's played most of the games this season, and they want to just get underneath NC State's skin, make each mistake even more important, and that's what happened Friday. So far, though, NC State's doing a better job at it tonight.
Well, one thing we've talked a good amount already so far about is the atmosphere and the emotions that go along with this game and the, I guess, the result of those two combinations together. And you saw it. There's some pushing and shoving after the whistles, as we expected. That comes as well, I think, from the bleed over of the game on Friday. But I think it's going to be really important for these two teams. It's going to escalate at some point. You know it's going to happen. It always does. And it's going to be important for these two teams to keep from crossing that line and giving the other team an opportunity on the man advantage.
And again, don't want to keep going back to Friday's game, but I thought for the first 58 minutes of that game, both teams did a phenomenal job limiting extracurriculars before we had that little scuffle with Kevin Mott. I believe Daniel Gifford for NC State. That led to a 4-on-4 for the end of that game, but it's going to get testy. And you know somebody's going to see all these lights. They're going to see that giant Jumbotron and all these fans around us, and they're going to want to make a name for themselves tonight, whether that's with a razzle-dazzle move or whether that's with a big hit that leads to something after the play. You've got to make sure, though, you can finish it, because if you mess up, you're going to make a name for yourself in the wrong way.
Yeah, and I think the other thing we need to take a look at here is the goaltending matchup. Both goaltenders have had busier times and then quieter times, but I think they've both been up to the task so far, as former Governor Cooper alluded to with that goal that was scored by Holden Kaufman. It was the deflection that created the goal. It didn't have anything to do with a mistake from the goaltender Brown.
No, he doesn't. And how about Roy Cooper using some hockey terminology there? He knows what he's talking about. Again, long life Carolina Hurricanes fan, but just getting deflections in front, causing traffic in front, it's going to be the key to beat these two goaltenders the rest of the 40 minutes.
All right, well, we're going to step aside for just a couple minutes. We'll continue to look ahead at the second period when we come back. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi back with you here at the Governor's Cup. NC State with the 1-0 lead after the first period, but we're closing in on puck drop for the second. And Nick, as we look at that second period, I think for NC State, we talked about how it was a solid period. I still don't think they've truly gotten to their game yet.
No, they didn't. I think it's, again, the UNC forecheck. They're forcing NC State to play a different hockey game than what they're used to. Why they lost on Friday, they have to find their game. They've been struggling to find it since coming back from the winter break. They've got to find it. On the other end, though, North Carolina, that forecheck, keep it going. But when you're on the power play, North Carolina has to move the puck quicker and crisper.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing that I was going to hit on as well. The Tar Heels have had a lot of power play chances. They're averaging 1.5 a period right now if you don't include the overtime that they played on Friday. If you get another chance, you got to find a way to generate some offense. One thing you mentioned in Friday's contest is even though they didn't score on the power play, they generated momentum that way. They didn't do that in the first period.
No, they didn't, and I think something that's changed a lot for UNC is they're not getting to the dirty area. Haven't really seen them do that a lot tonight. It confused Addison Lawrence a lot. Isaac Toyer, not someone that likes to sprawl out a lot. He likes to come out of the crease a lot, not sprawling, comes out. There was an opportunity behind the net earlier that period where he came out of the net. UNC, they go around. They had a great opportunity. Instead, they couldn't find it. You got to find a way to beat Isaac Toyer, and it's got to be with getting pucks right in front of him.
All right, well, we're just about set for the second period. We'll be back with Puck Drop after this.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better. Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers. Hot springs, hot chocolate. Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Experience matters. Visit Gladwell Orthodontics for your complimentary new patient exam. North Carolina's #1 Invisalign provider. Let us show you why you are a candidate for Invisalign.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Both teams back out on the ice as you get a look there at the North Carolina marching band that's in attendance here tonight. NC State with their band in attendance as well, as you see there. And Nick, we've talked about the atmosphere. That's one of the big things when it comes to college hockey is the band.
Oh, it is. And NC State, first year they've had the Frigid Sound at all home games. How about the Tar Heel band? I can't think of their band's name at the top of my head. You know, I've got one of my good friends in the band. I just blanked there, but it's good to see them as well. I'd like to see them perform more at UNC games, so it's a little trickier at their home arena, but they do a fantastic job as well in terms of bringing the atmosphere for the Carolinas.
Marching Tar Heels, they're called.
Not
a lot of marching today in the stands, but
I apologize to my friend Chris in the band.
And it'll be dumped in right out of the gate by the Tar Heels as we're underway. NC State and the Reds moving left to right here in period 2. In the white, the Tar Heels move right to left. Sent deep by NC State, collected by Hilton, and the Tar Heels will look to break out. Pass up the near side, O'Shaughnessy under pressure along the benches, throws it off the back wall, and it's quickly covered up by Toyer for a faceoff.
And this is what North Carolina wants. They're just going to send it deep. They're going to try to win this faceoff around the boards, look for something in front. I think, though, they just need to get to that dirty area right in front of Isaac Toyer, try to make him a little uncomfortable, make him not be able to see the puck. That's how they got that first goal back on Friday.
It'll be Herman against Grady on the faceoff. NC State's Herman wins it. Ice Pack failed to clear. Off a skate on the dump in for Hilton. It deflects out in front, and again, NC State fails to empty the zone. Along the near wall now. Grady pins his man there, but NC State has the numbers. Thrown across for Thronson to take off the wall. It bounces past Herman and out of the zone. NC State going after it on the forecheck. Prasma trying to stuff it on the near side. Sealed off by Brown. And the Tar Heels have control of the loose puck. Zukowski Sends it deep, elevated in. They're going to, initially I thought they were going to wave on icing there, but they're going to play on. Sent out in front, shot stopped there by Toyer. Good look from Cobber, and Grady robbed by the pad of the NC State netminder. And now we'll get a whistle and an offsides as Gleason plays it inside the blue line, but the best chance so far there for the Heels.
Well, it was Grady to Cobber for the game winner on Friday, and then Cobber to Grady almost to tie this one up at 1 early on. They just kind of get a little late getting back. NC State once again in transition. That's where they've had some of their problems recently as well. We haven't really talked about it, but transition for the Ice Pack has been a bit of a problem. Grady left alone right in front of Toyer. Toyer, though, saw him, did a fantastic job coming back over to cover the post to keep it 1-0.
NC State controls the neutral zone draw. Lapani gains the red line and fires it into the far corner, chipped right back out by Gleason, and Gingras plays it past Weglars. Lapani cleans it up, sends it right back out of the zone. Langston knocked down as he tried to advance past the red line. And again, the Heels will lift it up and out.
Yeah, Jack Gleason with a pretty big hit there on Langston, clean as well. He made a big name for himself on Friday with his 100th career game. How about number 101 in Lenovo Center?
Tar Heels chip it in. That's Gingras going after it. Weglars first to it for the Pack. Plays it forward. It's sent off the wall by Johnson. And now Shook looking to the middle for Gifford. It's off his stick and deep. No icing. So NC State can get a change. Sent deep. Dahlin will track it down now for the Pack. Backhanded around for Ricky Frosch. Banked off the wall. Johnson. He's got space to skate it. As he gets to the blue line, he'll send it deep. Gleason retrieves it for the Tar Heels. Turns there on Kaufman, trying to get away from pressure. Leaves it there, and Shook the first to it. He'll play it down low for Kaufman. Back out on that far side. Couldn't connect with Shook, but Dahlin holds it in the offensive zone. Now Gleason again. Knocked off the puck. He gets back to it. Kept in, though, again by Dahlin, who fires it around into the near side. Shook with a hustle play to get to it. Casillas, though, takes it and clears the zone.
Really good hustle from Nick Shook and holding Kaufman.
Shot in on Brown. He'll hold on to the rebound, and we'll get a face-off, and the Tar Heels get a much-needed change there as NC State had them hemmed in their own end for a while.
Yeah, really good job from the second line for the Ice Pack. And again, Kaufman and Shook, two big names, making a name for themselves right now. Really good hustle behind the net from Kaufman. Shook coming all the way across to keep the puck in the zone for NC State and to force this face-off.
Tied up in that far circle. Tar Heels come away with it, skated out, and sent deep by Gilligan. James will go after it. He'll direct traffic looking for support, but he turns it over behind the goal. Back is Robinson on the back check to knock it loose. NC State can't clear, though. Ma plays it across. High slot shot coming. Deflected just wide. Edwards with the shot there. Back behind the goal line. Gilligan thrown out in front. James denies that pass. NC State finds the loose puck. Good forecheck, though, from the Tar Heels, giving NC State trouble. Finally, McEnany able to skate it out. He'll float this one right in on Brown and get an offensive zone faceoff here as the Tar Heel netminder covers up.
Well, UNC's forecheck's still working, but once NC State's able to get possession, they're finally being able to break out of their own zone and working into the neutral zone. That's something they've struggled with a lot now the past 4.5 periods. You want to count that overtime period as well on Friday. They're starting to find things that they can get past UNC on when they try to break into the neutral zone, and that's what they need if they need to break out of this forecheck.
Tar Heels win the draw and advance it out. NC State sends it right back in from the red line. Vaglia's breakout pass knocked down by Prasma. He tries to center, and that one's knocked down and cleared out again. Now Finch down the right wing. Gets the pass from Herman. Looks to the middle, trying to connect with Prasma and Camp. Prasma tracks down the loose puck. He's going to get knocked down in the high slot. NC State maintains control. Sodden over to Prasma, off his skate, turn around, they score! Oh, did it not go? It did! They score! It's Herman, 2-0 NC State. Well, it took a moment for it to trickle in, but it eventually ended up in the net. And a big goal for NC State.
Well, I think Herman popped up the first shot attempt. We're going to get a great look at the replay right here. It's a good feed down low to Herman. He goes right back to the point, and then a little spin move as Smith goes too far up. Herman rushes backside. Yeah, he popped it straight up and had to bat it back on in, and Brown nearly was able to make a save. But NC State gets some puck luck when they didn't get puck luck. and it's 2-0 Ice Pack on top of the heels.
A little less than 5 minutes into this second period, a little over 4 rather, and the Pack have doubled their lead. It's an important game. We talked about the regional rankings and the potential for NC State with a win today and a good showing in the ACCHL playoffs next weekend of jumping up and getting a bye in regionals. Deflected shot held on to by Toyer with 15:23 to go.
And right now, UNC, that was Cam Glonick on that last shot, just trying to look for a deflection. I think you're going to see some desperation here and some more fast play from UNC, a lot more hustle to the puck, down 2-0.
Tar Heels control the O-zone draw. Shot from an off angle, pops back out to the blue line. Zajic with the one-timer back in deep. Shook now receives the breakout pass from Kaufman. He's just going to shoot it around the wall. Brown will play it along to the far side from behind his own goal. Weglars fires it right back in. Now Zajic moved along by Glonick. Plenty of time and space for the Tar Heels to break out with NC State making a change. Grady chips and chases. Into the near corner, it's a battle as Zukowski is knocked down there by Lapani. Puck still loose below the goal line. Reese Johnson comes away with it. He's trying to skate it out, has it knocked off his stick though, and the Tar Heels back to work. Cross ice pass, Lapani gets a touch to it but can't clear. Far side against Zukowski, down low for Cobber. Back up Zukowski, and it's just wide on the one-timer. Cobber again. Collision away from the play. Tar Heels want a penalty, not going to get it. NC State going to go back the other way. They have numbers. Here goes Johnson, pardon me. He'll throw it off the pads of Brown, trying to draw a rebound for Langston. Unable to do so. Back across. NC State trying to put some pressure on here in the offensive end. Edwards up the wall. Johnson turns away from pressure, takes the shot, fought off by Brown. Now it's Frosch into the middle. Gifford, glove save made by Brown. He'll hold on to this one. And NC State with another offensive zone face-off. Langston tied up in it a bit.
Yeah, I got a little too close to Lucas Brown. I think there could have been multiple penalties called on NC State, Chris. I think there was a very obvious tripping that was missed, and I think there was another penalty missed right after that. No one going to go to the box for any of those, and a really good opportunity for NC State. Kaufman and Langston did a really good job just finding the open areas. Let a couple shots rip on Brown, making him a little more uncomfortable as the game goes on.
It'll be Herman on the draw against O'Shaughnessy for North Carolina. Gets tied up in the dot. Prasma retrieves it. NC State controls. Back out in front. Trickles off of Brown. It's loose on top of the crease. And it finds its way out to a Tar Heel stick, but they can't clear. Herman now gets it from Frosch on the hashes. Edwards will pitchfork it up the wall. Frosch holds the zone again. He'll shoot it into the near corner. Pinching in, Darlene shovels it around and in deep again. Finch fires it out in front. That one's taken away. Now O'Shaughnessy will go after it. Frosch the first to it in an Ice Pack uniform. NC State clears it out. Hustle play here from Frosch. Going to put some pressure on Brown. Quickly touches it along for Gingras.
A really good hustle from Ricky Frosch. Not only to slow down Patrick O'Shaughnessy going to the other way, and then the hustle to beat out the icing.
O'Shaughnessy now skating it out. Finds Smith with space up the left wing. Drops it off high slot. Gingras tied up there by Prasma. NC State to the loose puck first, but Gingras in on the forecheck forces it around behind. Frosch breaks it out to Herman. He's going to lift it forward. Right in on Brown. Just past the net, though. And they're going to, I call this one icing. Herman might have been hoping for Prasma to go in after that a little harder.
Yeah, just maybe, and those are those hustle plays that could come back to bite you, because now NC State has to bring back onto the bench Emery Oliver, Ricky Frosch, long shift, a lot of hustling, a lot of times he was out of position because of his hustle. He has to go back out there, so a lot of tired bodies. Great opportunity for North Carolina to take advantage of NC State's tired bodies, and look at that, and they're changing the face-off a little later than usual.
And the Heels do get the last change as the home team, which is a little bit different from a couple of the scenarios we saw last night where they were forced to reverse line changes they had made. And in fact, on the first goal they scored, a lot of that came out of a mismatch off of an icing call. Tar Heels force it up that far right side. Hilton lugging it in. Pestered from behind by Emery Oliver. He'll be knocked down behind the goal. Help from Katsios. But NC State comes away with it.
Water bottles in play behind the net. It's on the ice.
A lot of bodies flying back behind the net. NC State, though, with an odd man rush moving out. Here comes Emery Oliver, crossing with Thronson. Looks back to the middle. It's deflected back for the shot from Prasma. And it's fought off by the Tar Heel netminder.
And the water bottle is still on the ice behind the net of Isaac Toyer right now. It hit the puck a couple times.
It did again there.
Hit it there. So it's debris out there. It's like a piece of wood on a broken stick.
Well, surprised the official didn't just pick it up.
Yeah.
It was right there at his feet.
And he could have on that last opportunity NC State had offensively. I think he's trying to, but...
He's also got to make sure he stays in the play.
Exactly.
NC State, well, they wave off icing. Thought we were going to get a stoppage there, but the Pack go to work in the O-zone. Handed off there for Weglars. Down low, it's shot right back to the defenseman. He'll float one in on goal, and Lucas Brown gets a glove to it. And we'll get a stoppage with 11:32 left in the second.
Get a good look at Isaac Toyer getting that water bottle as well. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that in the professional levels, the minor leagues. I don't think I've ever seen the water bottle go into the play, and it's because they don't have a little holder. It's just sitting on top of the net, so if someone knocks it up and out, especially like when a puck shoots and hits the top of the net, it's a free game. It's like a broken stick pretty much. It's debris on the ice.
Frigid Sound getting into it here during the stoppage. NC State with an offensive zone faceoff now. Kaufman loses it to Ansbacher, but the puck tied up in that far circle still. And Brenner wins the battle. He'll send it around the wall. Gleason to it for the Heels. Played along for Mangle. Stolen away by Kaufman. Shook looks to the middle for Johnson. That's intercepted. Ends up right back at Shook, who throws it in front off a skate and just wide. It'll be moved out now by Daniel Hu. Plays it rink wide, taken off the wall in front of the Tar Heel bench by Lapani. Shot in now by Shook, but looks like it hit something along the NC State bench. We'll get a stoppage, and the faceoff should come back out in front of the NC State bench there.
11:03, and after NC State was able to take a 2-0 lead, we really haven't seen either team control a lot of O-zone time right now. It's kind of evened out, back and forth. One team will sustain it for about 30-40 seconds. The other team will sustain it for 30 to 40 seconds.
11:03 left in the second. NC State with the goal from captain Zach Herman doubled their lead just 3 minutes and 13 seconds into the period. Sent in on Toyer. They'll direct it into the corner. Talon Langston there to help Darlene. They'll move it up the wall. Backhand pass hits a skate. Langston forces it up, not quite out, but it deflects back out into neutral ice. Ma throws it right in on Toyer. Puts it down for Darlene. His breakout pass stolen. Cobber chips it down below the goal line. Some help from Ma on the near side. There to try and clear it out is Johnson, unable to do so. Now Zukowski for North Carolina. Looking for an option. Stick snaps on Grady. NC State going to try and move forward while they get a line change. And now we got a penalty coming up here on North Carolina. And we talked about power plays. This is the first one of the period. It's going to be, it looks like, a holding penalty on the Tar Heels.
When the stick breaks for Matt Grady, he does a fantastic job, though, letting it off. He's right next to the bench. Get off, get off. He immediately does that. Cobber comes back on out, but then right in the middle of the screen there, I believe it was interference, the call on Cam Glonick, the sophomore from Raleigh. And NC State will go on the power play for the first time today.
All right, first man advantage for NC State here in this one. They'll control off the draw, walking the blue line, Prasma. They'll dangle down the right wing, out in front, quick shot stopped by Brown at point-blank range. Good chance for Reese Johnson. Shook back to the puck. Hill skated behind, has a man up top and finds Thronson. Looking things over, he's got Herman near side. Slid down low, out of the reach of Johnson. Tar Heels looking to clear it off the loose puck, and they do.
A really good opportunity for Reese Johnson in front. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Good recovery, though, from North Carolina after Nick Shook kept it in. And they like to do a little forechecking on the penalty kill.
1:20 left on the power play. Shook. Quick shot. Save made by the glove of Brown. And then Johnson, from a bad angle, almost found the net.
Yeah, just shot it a little too high. But again, look at this forecheck for North Carolina. Forced a turnover.
Maybe a chance shorthanded for Gilligan. Taking the shot. And Toyer had the angle. NC State will bring it back up and out. Still a minute left on the power play. Prasma cuts across the high slot, trying to leave it there for Herman. Fans on that pass, and Gilligan clears it out for North Carolina.
Oh, Tommy Gilligan, if he was positioned right, that was an easy goal by Isaac Toyer. He was not getting over there to stop it in time.
Here's Prasma. Fires one right into the breadbasket of Lucas Brown, and we'll get a stoppage. 41 seconds left on the power play for State.
And right now for NC State, they've had their looks, but they haven't been able to set up shop. They really love to work around the points, try to find some one-timers, get people out of position, but right now North Carolina's not letting them set up shop. And again, UNC's not letting NC State play true to their game.
Off the face-off, Zajic rings it around the wall and all the way down. That'll kill some more of that penalty clock. Glonick has 30 seconds left on his sentence as Weglars starts it up from behind the goal. Knocked down by Zukowski. NC State has trouble through the neutral zone as Dahlin kicks it forward where Zajic can clear it all the way down again. 15 seconds of power play time now. 2-0 lead for NC State. Weglars patiently through the neutral zone. Knocked away at the blue line. They'll say they came in onside, though. NC State gets to it. Here's Robinson. Power play over. We're back to full strength on both sides. Robinson loses an edge and loses the puck right into Lucas Brown.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward fall there from Robinson. He had a hand on him, but that was not bringing him down. He kind of just lost his edge, like you said, Chris. Went down there. Good no call by the officials. And NC State's going to roll. They're going to roll that first line. Herman, Prasma, Austin Finch. Kate Sawden, Andrew Thronson out there as well. And then Patrick O'Shaughnessy in the first line for UNC out there as well. So first lines for both teams on the ice. This is where moments happen.
State tried to force it forward. They're able to keep the zone, though. Finch fans on the pass from the near hashes. Able to pin it to the wall, though, as O'Shaughnessy couldn't clear. Centering pass popped up in the air. Unable to handle the bouncing puck was Thronson. O'Shaughnessy will settle it and bring it through neutral ice. Stops on a dime at the hashes and then sweeps it down low. Will Smith first to it for the Heels. Pressured there by Sawden, who forces a pass all the way down the ice. Still 7.5 minutes left in the second period. If you're North Carolina, you'd really like to get onto the scoreboard before the second intermission. NC State has done a fantastic job, particularly this period, of limiting the zone time for North Carolina down in their end. Here's Finch working through pressure, lifts it out. Ice Pack going to go after it. Oliver winning the foot race over Kevin Ma. Tried to knock it out in front, but that didn't get there. Ma will carry it up that far wing. Turned out by O'Shaughnessy. NC State sends it right back down. Ice Pack, I think, content just to try and limit the chances to change lines for North Carolina, trying to catch them tired. Langston takes the shot through traffic, hit a Tar Heel with it. They'll get back to it in the corner. Has it pinned to the wall. Unable to protect, though, from Gingras, who's able to carry it out and clear. Now McEnany slaps it back down in. NC State's forward line needs to make some changes.
NC State trying to go with their forecheck right now. It's something they had a lot of success on last year. This season they haven't really gone to it as much, but maybe giving UNC a taste of their own in medicine as UNC will try it.
James plays it around the wall. McEnany trying to chip it out. Held in, though, by Smith. They score! From the blue line, it's Drew Smith, his second goal in as many games, and the lead cut in half for the NC State Ice Pack.
Well, just his third game as a member of North Carolina, and he's got 2 goals, and that one was an absolute snipe from the point from Drew Smith. It goes in deep after a line change. James sends it around. The other deep pairing with him couldn't get there. Right up top, why not send it on net? Got a good screen from Patrick O'Shaughnessy. Oh, excuse me. That was Nick Ansbacher, the freshman from Raleigh, setting the screen, and a perfect snipe from Drew Smith. And Chris, you kind of spoke into existence a minute earlier. UNC needs to get on the board before the end of this period. They do exactly that.
Oh, and you're starting to hear the fans in blue get loud. We'll see how NC State bounces back. That should inject some energy into the Tar Heel bench, though.
And they needed that.
Shook chips it deep. It should be an unassisted goal for Smith as he held the puck in on the clearance. Weglars flings it into the near corner. NC State trying to get back to work on the forecheck. Brenner knocks it loose from Bagley momentarily. He's able to clear, though. Gilligan plays it across for Zukowski. into the middle. Shot coming from Hilton, squeezed by Stoyer. And we'll get a face-off in front of the NC State net with 5:41 to go in the period.
If Hilton's able to get more elevation on that shot, it's tie game 2-2. Stoyer had his glove down a little bit and was saying, beat me up high. Hilton just couldn't elevate the puck. Good opportunity there for UNC. They're looking to strike really quickly once again, something that they love to do, especially in this stadium in particular.
Well, they'll win the offensive zone faceoff. Gleason swapping places with Zajic through traffic. It's deflected wide by Katsios. Pinching in, Zajic brings it down deep. Herman sends it back up the wall, stolen away by the Heels. Vaglia walking the goal line. Hands it off there for Gilligan. Steers out in front. NC State takes it over. Plenty of space for Prasma. Has Sodden trailing him. Trying to play it out wide for Sodden. Stolen away, though, by the Heels. Katsios can't clear the zone, though. Gilligan putting pressure on now. Herman shovels it down the wall. Prasma putting some pressure on as well. And the Tar Heels still able to elevate it up and out. 5 minutes left in the period. It's a 2-1 hockey game. NC State had a 2-0 lead until just a minute ago when Drew Smith opened up the scoring for the Heels. Here's O'Shaughnessy. Plays it across. Couple of Tar Heels get tangled up. NC State looking to take advantage. Reese Johnson trying to backhand one to the middle. That's denied. He'll turn around with it in the corner. Near side has it knocked away. Glove down, though, by Prasma. Into the middle of the ice. Turning around with it. Shot coming from Johnson. Misses wide. Tar Heels get to it on the side of the goal. And it gets stuck on the side of the goal. And so a face-off upcoming with 4:25 left in the period.
I think it went up on the netting there. Something fell on the side of the boards there. Behind the net. Let's see what that was. Guanek picking it up, but you're UNC right now. You've matched NC State's intensity this period. You can't let another one go by you, though, to cut the deficit back down to 2.
Tar Heels win, but don't clear. Top of the circle, far side. Shot from Talon Langston, easily handled by Brown. And we'll face off again.
Yeah, Guanek got into it right after the play with Reese Johnson. Gifford came over, said, don't hit my guy. Guanek said, I'll hit you too. How about that? We'll start to see some extracurriculars increase in a game like this. Maybe trying to get underneath NC State's skin. The book is out on them. You get underneath their skin, they can and will react.
Both teams with some pretty good restraint in this one so far. James having to chase it down in a foot race with Gingras. Stops behind his own goal, plays it back around the wall. Gifford chips it up and out, getting some help now from Langston. Across now for Johnson, a 2-on-1 coming for the Pack. Johnson looking across, takes the shot, and it's shouldered down there by Brown. A great defensive effort. I believe it was Gingras who denied the pass through the middle and really limited the opportunity there for the Ice Pack, but an icing call here will give NC State a chance with tired bodies.
Yeah, a little interesting there on icing the puck there. I believe it was Kevin Ma that just sent it deep. Here's a good look at the 2-on-1 though for NC State. Reese Johnson was looking on that opportunity on the left side, but a really good defensive play. Getting the stick down there was Kevin Ma, and it forced Reese Johnson into a shot. He trusts his goaltender Lucas Brown to make the save, and he did just that.
Very well defended. Weglar's up top off the faceoff, walking the line, shoots it into the glass behind the goal. Collected by Ma. He'll chip it up and out. NC State can't settle. O'Shaughnessy can. He'll take a shot. Blocked by Lapani in the high slot. Weglar's carries it behind the goal, looking for some help. And it's Lapani clearing it out in front of the benches. 3:21 left in the second. Tar Heels definitely with some energy coming off of that goal. It was Drew Smith from downtown making it 2-1. Back to work. It's the goal scorer Smith straight to the net, and he sends it just wide of the far post. That's going to give NC State a chance to transition. Finch had some trouble with the rink-wide pass there from Herman. NC State will have to reset the breakout. Now we're going to get a whistle. Not sure if it was delayed offsides here on North Carolina that drew it. Either way, the faceoff will be on top of the NC State blue line right in front of us.
And UNC needs that stoppage there. I think the marching Tar Heels need to inject some energy back into UNC, because it seems like after that goal, the energy's dipped back down slowly and slowly, and I think they need another increase of it right now here, Chris. Whether it's just a big play, whether it's a little Tar Heels chant, just something to get the boys in blue fired back up.
Here's McEnany. NC State off the draw will advance. Chipped in where Zayach can get to it. Taken right back by the ice pack, and the shot from Robinson misses the near post. NC State getting back to it. McEnany with some help from Robinson. Back to McEnany. He'll take the bad angle shot. Turn back up for Robinson. Played up for Sodden at the blue line. Gives it back. Robinson plays it off the wall, trying to find a man on the far post in McEnany. That's tied up, though. Good pressure here from NC State's senior line of Oliver, McEnany, and Robinson. They'll get a change, though, as the Tar Heels bring it the other way. Mangle bodied off the puck nicely by Kaufman. NC State to the loose puck. And Kaufman plays it up and out. Picked up by Robinson, has a man in the middle, McEnany. Kaufman charging to the net as McEnany's shot gloved and held by Lucas Brown.
And Lucas Brown got a little bit of snow there from holding Kaufman. He's got some words there.
And Jack Gleason didn't like that.
No, he didn't. Trying to stand up for his goaltender.
You got to be careful there if you're Kaufman.
He's not
the hand gestures could get
yes.
you a taunting penalty. That's kind of a lot of times where they draw the line. And it's the first time we've really seen either team get a little bit, I wouldn't even say overly emotional, just a little bit more emotional, a little bit more chatty. NC State with the offensive zone draw. Kaufman to take it against Grady. Shook comes up with the puck off the face-off. Throws it just wide. Kaufman tied up along the side of the goal. Brenner in to help. Kaufman finds it, slides it out in front, and Brown pounces right on top of it. And as Shook went in a little bit late, the Tar Heels don't like it. And I think Edwards even a little bit less because he got knocked down afterwards.
Well, Kaufman kind of started all this atmosphere, intensity, whatever you want to call it, with the actions before. Right here, a good little wraparound opportunity. It's loose in front. You're going to crash. We've seen Brown struggle to cover the puck sometimes. Shook hit him. Brown was hitting him as well, and then the knockdown there. And Shook still going after it. In some words, no one going to the box for this. But again, we're starting to see the intensity and the hatred of these two teams pick up more and more.
Another offensive zone face-off. This time the Tar Heels win it. Ma swings it off the wall. Zukowski looks to the middle, has an open Grady. Here come the Heels. Cobber slides it in on goal, gets back to the rebound in the corner. Dahlin knocks it away from him. Pass out in front from Zukowski, almost ended up in the net. And the Heels going to go to work now. Cobber walking it up the wall, directs it back behind for Grady. He'll chip it into the middle. Dahlin takes that away. NC State trying to clear. Shook unable to do so. Ma throws it back in. Bouncing through traffic and getting a blocker to it was Toyer. Zukowski back to the middle. This one slides all the way through to the far corner. Dahlin retrieves. He's able to clear it out. Shook plays it even further, and NC State gets the change they need.
How about the play from Adam Zukowski, though? The hustle to get the puck back, and then the near deflection into the net to tie it up. As Wade Minter says,
1 minute remaining in the period.
Down to under 60 seconds. Tar Heels to the puck. NC State going to put some pressure on. Gifford there. Turns into a four-man scrub now with Langston and Grady in there also. Clock continuing to bleed down. It comes loose for Gilligan. He'll move it forward. Knocked away by NC State's Johnson. He'll try and step out of pressure, trying to find some help. Decides to do it himself. Beautiful stick work there. In come the pack. Shot. Bodied down there by Brown. Gilligan to the loose change, and the Tar Heels will look to break out. Gilligan has it stripped away cleanly by Gifford into the middle for Johnson. It ends up on the stick of Langston, who can't get a clean shot away. He'll get back to the rebound behind the goal. Takes it away from Edwards, out in front to Johnson in the top of the slot. He'll throw it high. Down to 9 seconds left in the period. NC State with great pressure. Heels just trying to get to the break now. 4 seconds left. One last chance for NC State, and it's thrown high from the far side, and that's how the period will end. But these two teams still getting into it.
Oh, and the refs are pushing several NC State players. And Kevin Ma is in it again for UNC. I think Langston's in there too. Some hints there from Michael Vaglia maybe. It's getting intense. They're still talking.
And the officials telling both sides to get to their respective locker rooms now. But that should set up a very, very entertaining third period.
Oh, I can't wait for this intermission to go by quickly. We've got a chuck a puck coming up These teams will have more than enough time to cool down their emotions, but the hatred stands strong as several North Carolina players are at center ice still. Zajic talking to the ref, and then the two captains, O'Shaughnessy, Herman, discussing things. Chris, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some penalties to start out the third period.
We'll wait and find out about that. For now, we'll take a break. After 40 minutes, NC State still up by 1. 2-1 Ice Pack. The score's different, but the deficit is the same after 40 minutes. NC State 2-1 advantage over the North Carolina Tar Heels. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you. And Nick, as we take a look back at the highlights from period number 2, a couple of goals to take a look at here.
Yeah, there were. First off, we're going to start with the Zach Herman goal. They go back down low. Tate Sonnen just playing catch with him. Right back across, but watch Herman on the backside. He's open. Up in the air originally, and then he had to bat it back in. A much better look at it up close. You see Herman play right back to Sonnen. He circles around Drew Smith, crashes hard on the blind side. Round, and then just 2 tries at it to get it in. Finally got it. But UNC was able to answer later on in the period. It was just a really good snipe from Drew Smith. I believe it was Tommy Gilligan's hustle play that got them that goal, that prevented it from being icing after NC State went for the line change. James circled around it, missed his D pairing. They go right back to the top, and Drew Smith, a beautiful snipe past Isaac Toyer to make it 2-1 here in the second intermission.
Well, as we look at those highlights, there was one thing that I noticed about the play that Herman made there on the side of the goal. It reminded me a lot of one player in particular, number 87, for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby hangs out on the backside of the net all the time, and it's just about being in the right place to clean things up. That's exactly where Herman was.
Yeah, and even if that puck's towards the middle more of Lucas Brown, Herman can easily swoop on in there, collect it, and find a goal. That's a lot of the things that Sidney Crosby likes to do for the Penguins. And he kind of mimicked it there as well with his little turn. Said, I'm on the blind side of Brown. No one sees me on this glove side. You can either pass it to me down low for an easy goal, or I'll collect the dirty work on the rebound.
Yeah, but as we look at the Tar Heels now, they get that second goal of the period. They finally get on the board. It's Drew Smith with his second goal in this weekend series, and it's a big one for the Tar Heels. They certainly looked like they had the momentum for most of the period after that goal.
And they needed it, Chris. The energy did die down a little bit after that goal, after it brought so much, but they needed that. They needed a way to just put their foot down in this game and claim themselves in this game. And that's exactly what they did. They were able to get back on the board, cut the deficit in half down to 2-1. And I think for the rest of this game, though, for UNC, it's get to that dirty area. Several other good opportunities were generated because of it. I expect more to follow. But the next story that's going to be important in this game, the intensity.
That's exactly where I was going with it, partner. We saw it at the end of the period. NC State was getting into it. It started with that little incident with Kaufman. It escalated into that incident with Edwards and Shook, and then it turned into something a little bit more at the end of the period. Now, we don't see any penalties on that scoreboard behind us, at least at the moment. We'll see if that changes at the beginning of the period, but discipline and keeping your emotions in check going to be really, really important in the final 20.
Yeah, and the only 4-on-4 that we had on Friday's game was Daniel Gifford, Kevin Moss. Kevin Moss is right there again. He made a good defensive play on his previous shift, but then later on, the intensity brings up. Him and Talon Langston go at it. Several other Carolina players were in it. 2 other NC State players got in it as well. And overall, I think as the intensity picks up in this game, we're going to see a lot more, call it bonehead decisions, if you will, in terms of how you're entering the penalty box.
Yeah, now one thing I will say, I think, is looking at the end of the period, if you're NC State, you want to get back to that. As we talked about after the goal for North Carolina, the Tar Heels tipped the ice back in their favor. They spent more time attacking than defending, but NC State had a really, really strong shift to end that period. They're going to need more of that when they get back out on the ice for the third.
They do, but one thing I really like that NC State adjusted to this last period was UNC's forecheck. They were being able to bring the puck to neutral ice and then set up their offensive zone. The only thing NC State needs to work on, though, the offensive zone. They can't play their game. They can't sustain a lot of zone time. And on the power play they had that last period, Chris, they didn't move the puck around like you normally see. They love to move it point to point, go down low, go to that dirty area where Herman had his goal earlier. But UNC prohibited them from doing that. They had 2 amazing shorthanded opportunities. I believe Tommy Gilligan nearly had a goal on the shorthand to make it 2-1. But if you're North Carolina State right now, you've got to find a way to be successful in the offensive zone. Otherwise, I think UNC's got a prime opportunity to tie, maybe even take this lead, especially with NC State's third period woes this season.
One of the things we haven't taken a look at for the second period is the 2 goaltenders. They look really, really strong in this one. You look at all 3 goals. The first one for NC State is a tip out in front. The goal for North Carolina from Drew Smith comes from the blue line with traffic in front, where I don't think Toya really got a clean look at it. And then the second goal that Herman scores. There's traffic in front. There's chaos around Lucas Brown. And while it really wasn't the direct result of the goal, there was chaos there that helped create the opportunity.
And I said at the top of the broadcast, you've got to get to the dirty areas for both teams. I said it especially for UNC. That's how they got their first goal Friday. They get a snipe up top. Getting to the dirty area doesn't mean the puck as well. It can also mean just having several players in front of the net setting screens on goaltenders like they did on Isaac Toyer. And then how about NC State the other way? Zach Herman gets to the dirty area. He finds the goal to make it 2-0 at the time, now 2-1.
Well, as expected, it is a tight contest through 40 minutes. We've had a couple of games this season already need extra hockey. We might need it again here for the Governor's Cup. After 40 minutes, NC State narrowly ahead, 2-1 over North Carolina.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Excite OSA is the world's first clinically proven daytime therapy for mild obstructive sleep apnea and primary snoring, whether at home or on the go. Just 20 minutes a day keeps the snoring away. Visit goodnightrx.com and get a good night's sleep every night.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Experience matters. Visit Gladwell Orthodontics for your complimentary new patient exam. North Carolina's #1 Invisalign provider. Let us show you why you are a candidate for Invisalign.
Second intermission here at Lenovo Center. NC State 2-1 lead over North Carolina in the Governor's Cup. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you. And Nick, in this segment, I want to put a little bit more focus on the Tar Heels here. As we talked a lot about them on Friday, how good they looked. That's one of the best games, I think, most complete games that we've seen them play in the last few years, particularly against NC State. It's not quite the same tonight, and part of it, as you mentioned, has to do with the, I don't know if ineffectiveness of the forecheck is the right way to put it, or just the way NC State has been able to handle it.
I think NC State just adjusted to that forecheck. They're still not being able to play their game. That's why it's 2-1 right now. But they're adjusting and they're changing their game. They're fine-tuning it to be able to respond to this forecheck. Again, this North Carolina team lost 8 of their last 10, including getting swept against the Wilmington Seahawks the weekend before. And then they win in overtime on Friday. They're down 2-1 here going into the third period. A team that lets up a lot of goals, scores a lot of goals. They're playing the exact opposite of that. And I think it's starting now to come back and bite them. NC State adjusted. Now UNC can't get back to what they did on Friday night. They need to adjust to make this a shootout again.
Well, one thing that I think is somewhat similar to Friday night for North Carolina is their top guys, their top producers. Patrick O'Shaughnessy, you look at Will Smith in there as well. You've also got Jingra, Gilligan. These are guys that are pretty steady producers for North Carolina. We're not hearing a lot out of them. No. And the only goal so far from the new defenseman, Drew Smith.
Yeah, the guy who's only played 3 games this year, this being his 3rd game as the only goal. That first line for UNC has just been silent. They've had some opportunities, but we haven't said Will Smith's name at all tonight. Patrick O'Shaughnessy's had a good couple of plays, but whenever that first line's out there, NC State's either line matching them or they're having the puck already in the O-zone, prohibiting that first line for UNC to get back out on their offensive threat and push into the NC State zone. It's a really good job, whatever Tim Healy's drawn up for NC State to attack that first line. It's worked all weekend. The depth for North Carolina has been an issue for them a little bit this season. They responded nicely on Friday. It's got to respond again in this third period tonight.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the depth. That's one thing you have to wonder if North Carolina is proving that they have a little bit more of. That's certainly something NC State has tried to exploit over the years, but when you look particularly at the last couple of games, it's been the bottom six for North Carolina that's making the difference. It's kind of what NC State would rely on to be their difference maker when you have these top lines canceling themselves out, kind of how they have for the most part in this season series so far. So you look particularly, I look at the line that includes Daniel Cobber and Nat Brady. They combined on the overtime winner on Friday night. They've been a big part of the offense tonight. I feel like any time that the Tar Heels have spent some extended zone time in their offensive end, it's been that line that has generated the offense.
And they almost replicated their goal from Friday night earlier. It was nearly Cobber, or this time, excuse me, it was Cobber to Grady, and that nearly led them to a fantastic opportunity. This time, however, I think a name you got to look out for tonight in this third period, Zukowski. Flying everywhere to the puck. Great hustle plays. Several great opportunities in front. Physical as well. That's another word. He's been their best player tonight. He needs to give them some energy. He has all night. He just needs several other players to replicate him. This game's gotten a lot more intense in terms of hustle plays, as well as the physicality and the extracurriculars. Zukowski's a name to watch the rest of this game.
Well, the Tar Heels have a little bit of work to do. Unlike last night, or Friday night rather, they've got to come back to make this one a happy night for the Tar Heel fans. We'll be back with more at the second intermission after this. Welcome back to Lenovo Center. NC State with the 2-1 lead over North Carolina as we close in on the third and final period. And Nick, it has not disappointed so far. I don't think it will in the third period either.
No, it won't. And the intensity that we saw at the end of the period, I'm for sure hope it carries over as well. And we see the intensity kick up a little bit. We see the crowd energy and noise kick up as well. A fantastic game so far. I expect nothing less in the next 20 minutes here from Lenovo Center.
Well, and I kind of want to revisit the Perazzi points from the beginning of the broadcast. One of the ones that we talked about, you've mentioned a good amount, is getting to the dirty areas.
Yeah.
That was the first one, barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken.
You got to get to the dirty areas. We haven't seen a lot of that from either team so far tonight, I would say.
No, not really any barbecue chicken alerts, as Shaquille O'Neal would call it. And we mean that's the thing I want to see both teams do and work on, and that's really what it is. We've seen Zach Herman get to that dirty area a little bit, but when I mean barbecue chicken alert, it's not what I said during the last stand-up that we did, where it's you get bodies in there. It's where you have the puck in there and there's chaos. That's what I mean by barbecue chicken. And Chris, I'm going to use you as an example here. When you're boxing someone out for positioning down low, that's barbecue chicken alert. Haven't seen a lot of it. I think that's a big key to success over the rest of the game.
One of the other ones we talked about was the cohesiveness of who's on the ice and the ability to be on the same page. It feels like, at least looking at the NC State side, they're a little bit more in tune tonight. Yeah. There aren't as many errant passes. There aren't as many turnovers at their own blue line, and they're going to need more of that if they want to hold on to their one-goal lead.
They're playing as a team tonight, as I cross my fingers. That's what they are. They're interwoven tonight, and it's shown a good bit. The only problem, though, is their finishing right now needs a little bit of work. When they're moving into the offensive zone and keeping the puck there, it needs a little bit of work in my opinion, but they're playing much more like a team tonight compared to their last game. And another Perazzi point, drink cheer wine, that was the whole thing there, specifically for NC State. Play as a team, no hero hockey tonight, and we haven't seen that so far.
Absolutely, and then discipline, going to be very important for both teams in this period. I don't think we can emphasize it enough when you look at the emotions of this game, the carryover from not only the overtime loss for NC State on Friday, but the shootout loss they had back in early October as well. It's going to be really, really important to keep things in check and keep those red jerseys out of the penalty box.
Yeah, it really is. If you're UNC, you do anything you can to get NC State in the box. Some of their best players are notorious for getting into the penalty box at inopportune times. That's what you got to do if you're North Carolina. The problem, though, for North Carolina, if they do that, the power play has not looked good. We keep mentioning it over and over again. They need better movement on it, and they need to do a better job in terms of just keeping the offensive zone in check and getting to open spaces.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a very, very exciting period. And I think what it's going to come down to is who scores first this period.
And I think it is. Whoever wins the period is probably going to win the hockey game, in my opinion. If you're North Carolina State, several games this year you've blown late in the periods. Final game of the regular season. Is that how you're going to let your kind of narrative of the season going to be? We blew a lot of great games that we had multiple goal leads in, and we lost them all late because we blew them. Or are you going to beat your rivals and avoid being swept by them for the final time?
All right, well, we're just about set to start period number 3. Final 20 minutes on the other side.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better. Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers. Hot springs, hot chocolate. Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese.
Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Experience matters. Visit Gladwell Orthodontics for your complimentary new patient exam. North Carolina's #1 Invisalign provider. Let us show you why you are a candidate for Invisalign.
Well, we're just about ready to rock and roll here at Lenovo Center, NC State and North Carolina. A 2-1 lead, and it does look like there are going to be some penalties up on the board there, Nick.
Yep, we're going to get one on Talon Langston, and we got to get these times right up there. And there's also going to be a penalty on Chandler Casellos, the graduate student from Hudson, Ohio. That's what they put on the board, but they took it off now. I'm assuming that's who we're going to see go to the box. No one there yet as they do the pre-period huddle. And just got to wait to see. Refs talking it over. Coach Sayas to the box. Yep, Langston to the box as well. 2 minutes there, assuming for roughing. And we'll see if it's 4-on-4. I think it is going to be 4-on-4. Just 4 UNC players on the ice. So NC State's going to roll with their top 4. Bronson, Sodden, Herman. So waiting that 4's going to be Prasma. UNC with their best 4. Will Smith, O'Shaughnessy, Drew Smith. And then I see who's backing it all up back there. It's going to be Hilton. And Chris, 20 minutes of pure intensity, grit, and whoever wants it more.
It's going to be a very, very fun first 2 minutes, I would say, of this period, as NC State and North Carolina can have some extra space out there to work with.
Yeah, and that can be beneficial to O'Shaughnessy and Prasma, 2 of the fastest players in all of ACC HL hockey.
NC State will move forward. Herman leaves it for Prasma. He'll walk it down the right wing. Button hooks in the corner, looking out in front. That gets shut down, and NC State will have to get back. It'll be O'Shaughnessy down the right wing, upended by Prasma. Puck comes loose to O'Shaughnessy again, though. He'll work back behind the goal. Has trouble controlling it. Herman there for NC State. He'll drop it off, and Bronson will slow things down. Now Sodden walking it down the left wing. His shot deflected. It'll pop up in the air and land in the far corner. Sodden gets to the loose puck, and he'll be knocked down. NC State will have to get back on the back check. A couple of players tangled up behind the play, as Drew Smith, the goal scorer for the Tar Heels, will just pitchfork it in on Toyer and go off for a change.
Yeah, Hilton's hurt. He's holding the back of his head there. I think he went down awkwardly behind the play. I believe Nick Shook as well.
Here comes Herman down the right wing. Past Zajic and around the goal, trying to hold his man off. Big hit by the Tar Heel defenseman, and that will give the Tar Heels a chance to move it out. Grady into the middle for Zukowski. Back to Grady. He'll look for help as he sweeps it to the middle. Hitting a stick to it was Toyer. And now Zajic will send it right back around. And you can hear the 2 fan bases
going at it.
Weglars looks to move it out. He's got Shook. Down to 23 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey. Shook across the blue line, knocked off his stick, followed up by Lapani. Now Weglars with the loose puck. Finds Shook, takes the shot, and it'll be sealed off by Brown, who holds on to the rebound.
Now Shook looking for the tough angle shot. I think he might have had an opportunity to hold in Kaufman in front. Would have been a hard shot for Kaufman to get off on that open side of Lucas Brown. Brown, a fantastic job, though, taking it away, doing everything that he could there to prevent it from going behind him.
So it'll be an offensive zone faceoff for NC State. 13 seconds left on the matching penalties for Catsios and Langston. Heels get it out of the zone. NC State will reset at their own blue line. Johnson looking to the middle for Gifford. Unable to connect. Stolen away by Ben Edwards. He'll move it out. Both players back onto the ice. It's 5-on-5 hockey again. Into the zone come the Heels. Gilligan slides one off the pad of Toyer. NC State takes over. Weglars unable to clear. And the Heels send it right back down below the goal line. Now Gifford sent to the middle. Langston's got it. Steps away from a hit. NC State has numbers now in the middle. Langston's open, but they can't connect as Johnson's pass hit a skate on the way in. Good chance in transition for NC State. Now Mangle up the far wall. Pinching in Dahlin, unable to hold the zone, but Reese Johnson gets to it. Deflects off the stick and in. Heels back to work. Knocked away. Dahlin with the loose puck. Finds a teammate in the middle. That's Reese Johnson. Johnson has it stripped. Now the Heels can send it back the other way. Lifted forward. Mangle going. He's got who with him? Shot coming. Whistles wide of the glove of Toyer and wide of the net. Quickly back in on goal. Toyer finds it. He'll cover up the rebound.
Well, how about Mangle with the quick shot? Just missed Isaac Toyer in the net. Went back around and then a good hustle play back in front. I believe who centered that pass to him. Some good opportunities here for North Carolina early on after NC State had a good presence in the offensive zone.
I thought who was on first? I had to. I'm sorry.
What's on second?
I don't know. Third base.
Yeah, third base.
Glonick clears it back in. Thronson has it for the ice pack. Stretches is out. It pops the stick of Emery Oliver. Carolina takes back over. Glonick. Bad touch there. Oliver gets to the loose puck and sends it behind the North Carolina goal. Hilton looking for space. Breakout pass thrown rink wide in front of the benches. Ansbacher after it. NC State to it first. Thronson plays it along for Sodden. He'll lift it up and out. And NC State struggling to control through the neutral zone like they did in the first two periods.
Yep, UNC's just increased some intensity. They're playing harder to the puck. They're making it more physical as NC State tries to break it out, but a good break for the Ice back here. They're going to get an icing call against UNC. A couple tired bodies for North Carolina. And a big name that has to come back out off the ice is going to be number 21, and as well, I believe, trying to see who the other players is, Zajic as well, a good physical defenseman. So if you're NC State, you see Zajic go off, tired bodies. You try to get some physicality, some barbecue chicken right in front of the net.
Herman on the draw for NC State. Wins it back to Prasma. Quick shot. Deflects wide of the goal. Now Finch is there. Help from Prasma. It's Will Smith along the wall, pinning it there. Comes loose for Katsios. Plays it forward for Mangle. He'll walk it through the neutral zone. Around Lapani, absorbs a hit, looking to the center, and a sprawling Weglars blocks the pass. NC State can go the other way. Lots of space for Finch. He's got Prasma coming with him. Stride for stride with him, though, is Hilton, and the pass just misses the outstretched stick of Daniel Prasma as NC State just missed on that opportunity.
Try to saucer pass over to Prasma. Fantastic hustle the other way. I said at the top of the period, one of the fastest players in all of the ACCHL. Did a fantastic job getting over there. Some friendly fire between Herman and Frosch.
Just a little bit tangled up there. NC State able to move it to the far side, but they can't break it out. Shoveled back in by Katsios. Awkward bounce off the wall in front. Toyer makes the save. Oh, the NC State netminder out on top of his crease with the biggest save of the night.
Will Smith thought he had goal number 19 right there, but Isaac Toyer stays home the whole time. As a goalie, you've got to be aware at all times. Just a simple flip behind the net. Took an awkward bounce straight to Will Smith crashing. Got to give him a lot of credit. Just didn't elevate it. Again, that's 2 times now. UNC today could have had easy goals past Toyer, but they didn't get too much elevation on the puck.
About 5 minutes into this third period, still a 2-1 lead for NC State. They've got the line of Kaufman, Brenner, and Shook out on the ice. Kaufman will take the face-off against Zukowski of North Carolina. Tar Heels win the draw. Grady along the wall, looking back up to the blue line for Gleason. He'll step into one. That one hits somebody on the way through, and now the whistle blows. NC State catches a bit of a break there. It got caught up in the jersey of Sodden, and then dropped right in front of a Tar Heel player as the whistle blew.
Yeah, we saw that 2 weeks ago against Virginia Tech. Zach Herman, a bit of a magic trick as the puck just went up his sleeve all the way to his elbow, and then right there, Sodden got a little bit of it as well. I believe Daniel Cobber might have got a piece of it too, but UNC has a chance to just set it back up again.
NC State hacks the faceoff out of the zone, turning around at the red line. It's swept back in by Gleason. NC State will look to set up the breakout again. Thronson through the middle, has Shook, who has some trouble with a pretty hard pass, but NC State will regroup again. Now Thronson looking for Shook again. He gets a stick to it this time and pops it up over the net and down low for NC State to get the forecheck going. Worked around, Tar Heels to break it out. Zukowski plays it off the glass. It'll be gloved down by Cobber, and he just slaps it all the way down the ice. Grady with a physical forecheck can't knock the puck loose. Kaufman will skate it out for NC State. Headman pass for Shook is intercepted. Ben Edwards tracks down the loose puck. Gets it caught up in his skates, though, and it will trickle to the near corner. Good hustle by the defenseman, though. Edwards finds an open Zukowski behind the goal. Back up top for Mott. Hops his stick out of the zone. NC State catches a break, and they can get a change.
Much needed change. NC State's not going to go with the change UNC is, but the Heels almost caught NC State on another line change again. They realized it. They got the puck. They tried to go back again. Again, IcePack struggling making those quick line changes in transition.
There's a bit of a log jam in front of the Tar Heel net as the shot blockered away by Toyer. And Brown, I think, wanted something out of that as he ended up losing his stick. Play carries on, though. Cleared out by Talon Langston. Tripped up there was Gifford, but we're not going to see a penalty. Stripped away, though, by Weglars. Gifford, who was tripped up, will get to the puck down the left wing. Slides it on goal, and it'll be gloved and held onto by Lucas Brown with 13:17 to go.
Gifford a little tired there as he gets back up. I don't think that was a tripping penalty. I think it was a clean play. And for NC State, you're okay with it. We're going to get a good look of it here. It's going to be coming back the other way. Gifford had a little trouble getting the puck after it gets sent out of the NC State defensive zone.
It was unintentional, but it was a foot to the back that ended up tripping him up. Shot from Robinson off the draw, caught up in traffic. Second attempt didn't get to the net either. They'll fight for it along the near wall. Chipped off the glass and out by North Carolina's O'Shaughnessy. NC State reverses it back again. In the middle, Dahlin misses his stick, but there to grab it is Zach Robinson. Walking in, throws it off the blocker of Lucas Brown. It'll be knocked down behind the goal and worked up top. James kicks it down low, but right to a Tar Heel stick. O'Shaughnessy can't connect there with Cutzio, so NC State will take over. Dahlin fans on the breakout pass, though. Smith with the shot, just wide, as he goes flying over top of a sprawling Robinson. And NC State back in control. Dahlin pitchforks it off the glass and out. And NC State will have to come back into their own end for this faceoff.
How about this right here? I thought Will Smith was hurt, looks like he came up clutching his knee. He was the other way. Hit Thomas McEnany when NC State was trying to clear it.
He's got a case there
for Zach Herman.
He's got a case there for a penalty.
That really should have been a penalty. There's no other way to put it. I mean, Zach Herman slide tackle went on through.
Well, the Tar Heels carrying play here in the third period so far. That shot deflects wide from Blahnik. They'll go after it behind the net now. Swept around the wall by NC State's Oliver, but not out yet. Blahnik again on the blue line. Through traffic, it bounces in on Toyer. Loose along the side of the goal. It'll squirt into the corner. NC State takes over. James plays it to the middle for Robinson. Has trouble with that pass. Tar Heels reverse it again. Here's Gingras stepping around Dahlin. Robinson to the loose puck, though. An open man in Prasma up the ice, and Robinson unable to find his teammate there in Prasma. But the Tar Heels will ice it, and NC State gets an offensive zone draw coming up.
I don't think he was going to find Prasma. There was two white jerseys on top of him. Prasma just waiting for something in case there was a long flip, but NC State will take that, and they're going to get an O-zone draw. They'll keep that first line out there. They'll go with their 1-and-1 pairing, as well with the defensive end, Thronson and Sodden.
Herman wins the faceoff for NC State. Prasma steps to the high slot, and his shot is blocked. Now the Tar Heels move it out. Swept to the middle by Gilligan. Stolen away by Prasma inside the blue line. Thrown just wide of the goal. Herman plays it in front, and it's off the pads of Brown. Some chaos around the Tar Heel net. NC State with a couple of good chances. Now Gingras will clear it out, but NC State gets right back to it.
And that's what you want to see if you're NC State. Create chaos right in front of Brown. Was well out of the net, but Herman just couldn't find the puck in a particular place to have it potentially be a bank shot off of him or find that net. But another opportunity for NC State, and I'm assuming they'll go with that second line, and they will, of Brenner, Shook, and Hoffman.
Here's another look at that last sequence in front of the Tar Heel net as Prasma took it away. Nice job just to get it towards the net. And Brown with a very quick play to get over and seal that off from Zach Herman. Off the face-off, Tar Heels looking to chip it out, but it's knocked down by Shook along the wall. Brenner in to help. Tar Heels force it up further, though. This one will get out. Slapped right back around the wall by Sodden and in.
Shook needs a stick.
He gets to the bench and gets one. Katsios under some pressure from Brenner. Turns away from it. Shook coming in, knocks it loose, but the Tar Heels back to it. Here goes Patrick O'Shaughnessy. Has Smith in the middle, looking across for Katsios, and it's knocked loose. NC State will go back the other way with it. Nick Shook down the right wing. Throws it on goal. Brown will hold on to it with the glove, and we'll get another face-off in the North Carolina net.
Seen that several times though. NC State comes down the other way, just sends it on net to Brown, forces him to glove it, force a face-off. We haven't really seen a set play for NC State off a face-off yet. You know they love to do it. They work on it a lot in practice. Right, they don't have one drawn up for situations like this, especially when they're going to have a new line out there, Langston and Johnson.
Johnson won the face-off to the wall. NC State struggling to control though. Tar Heels advance with it. Here goes Daniel Hu. Crosses over with a teammate down the left wing. Hu cutting to the middle. He'll be dragged down. The officials look like they're letting him play here in the third. Talon Langston to the middle in the high slot. Leaves it there. Gifford with the shot. Oh, it bounced just wide. Hit a couple of bodies on the way in. Back behind the net, Johnson finds Langston out in front off the skate of Gifford. Daniel Hu will advance it for the Tar Heels. Up for Mengel. He'll walk into the top of the far circle. He throws it off the glove of Toyer and out of play.
Well, NC State's getting to that dirty area now. They're exploring it, and I think they're finding some success there in front. But that last push there from NC State before they turned it over, I would have liked to see them go right back to the point. So much space for their two deep pairings up there to get the puck at the point, either shoot it, walk it down, or reset the offense.
Tar Heels trying to get the right line out there. Looks like they will go with Grady, Cobber, and Zukowski. NC State's Talon Langston out there. And it's Zukowski with the win. Drew Smith has the goal tonight, looking for a second. He's going to be knocked down trying to play it on goal, and it ends up wide of the net. Gifford forces it out from a knee, misses Talon Langston, and NC State going to hustle down. Or pardon me, that's Reese Johnson who beats out a potential icing call. Johnson
might have hit the stick of Matt Grady there. We got some tanglement between Johnson. No penalties. That was Drew Smith with him as well.
The officials are going to have to keep an eye out because North Carolina's getting frustrated that they're not getting whistles. Here's Zukowski turning in the corner. Stripped away there by Dahlin. He's going to take it up and out. Looks to the middle where he's got Johnson. Back for Dahlin, trying to play it deep in camp. Frosch will glove down the North Carolina clearance. Trying to step around him. Zukowski lost the stick. And NC State clears. Katsios lifted forward, but taken right back by Ricky Frosch, who paws it down. Walking in, it's knocked off his stick. McEnany cleans it up. His shot from the high slot just trickles in on Brown, who leaves it there for Hilton. And NC State almost made a chance out of that.
Yeah, Embry Oliver nearly swooped in there, had a good chance for a backhand.
Some speed here from Smith. Backhands it to the middle. Katsios can't direct it on goal. NC State in control again. Herman has an open teammate in the middle, and Robinson. Big hit by Will Smith. Nice clean shoulder to shoulder on Zach Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson never saw him coming. You got to keep your head up there. Really good hit from Smith. Perfectly legal.
Zajic will lift it in. Around the wall it goes. Katsios first there for the Heels. Pinned to the wall now by Reese Johnson. NC State takes back control. Here goes Prasma. Working forward, he's got Finch with him on the right wing. Plays it into the corner. Finch leaves it for Prasma. Back up top. Shot coming. Blocked in front by Gleason. He's going to take it himself. 8:15 to go. Still a 2-1 lead for NC State. And you can start to feel the tension building here in Lenovo Center. Neither team wants to make that next mistake.
No, they don't, and you can't play to lose. North Carolina did that Friday, and it cost them going into overtime, able to win it, but you just can't play to lose if you're North Carolina State right now.
Heels in control. Glonick working it up the near side, chipped in by Gilligan. That will negate any icing. Sodden first to it for the Pack. Shoveled up the wall. Finch can't corral. Gilligan lifts it off the glass and back in. Now it's sent to the middle by Gingras. NC State comes away with it, but they have trouble breaking it out. Shot blocked down now by Sodden. Finch again along the wall. Gilligan strips it away and plays it down low. Lapani creates some separation from Gingras off the glass, and it just gets out of the zone. Now worked back in by Kevin Ma. Juicy rebound there from Toyer off the right toe. Really didn't have any other option. It was a great shot by Ma. He didn't have anyone there for the rebound, though. Now Kaufman. Rainbow pass out. Bouncing over to the far side. Brenner trying to settle. He'll throw it on goal. Sealed by Brown. They score! Well, we'll wait. It's in the net, but the official never pointed. So I don't think it's going to count, but NC State had a great chance there.
Well, it was Aiden Brenner again, who, and we're going to get a lot of boos here from the NC State fans. Some refs discussing it. Back judge says no goal.
On the ice is no goal.
No goal, according to Wade Minter. And how about Aiden Brenner's hustle, though, on the other end? Juicy rebound in front, able to chip it away, and then the other end, the great hustle in front. I don't know if Brown ever covers this up.
The officials are still talking about this, so this could change.
Can't really look from right here.
You can see it now. The thing is, this reminds me of a goal, I think, from Game 6 against Washington back in 2019 for the Hurricanes fans watching, where Alexander Ovechkin just kind of forced it in through the pad of, I believe it was Peter Mrazek. And they said no goal for that one. I think this is the right call. You can't just force Brown into the net. You got to poke it in cleanly, and Brown was kind of shoveled into the net with that one.
And before, Chris, the goal that UNC thought they didn't. Whistle was blown beforehand. They might have heard a whistle on the ice before that last chance, but it got the crowd energized again. I can tell you that, especially those NC State fans.
Back behind the goal, Brenner comes away with it. He's tied up. Drew Smith has it for a moment. Kicked away, NC State has it. Lapani from the blue line, a sliding block there from Zukowski, and this one floats into the crowd with 6:47 to go.
Someone's going to get a souvenir from that, but again, the play from Aiden Brenner, just pure hustle, playing really hard. He's going to get off here for a line change. NC State rolls with that third line with Langston, Johnson, and Gifford, but the sophomore junior from Amherst, New Hampshire, a lot of hustle, got to like it there. Name for UNC, though, haven't really said a lot of this period. That's out there right now, Adam Zukowski. Expected to do something on this shift.
Drew Smith will carry it out for the Tar Heels, throws it right in on Toyer, and then gives him a little snow shower. NC State's not going to take kindly to that.
No, and this is just going to increase the frustrations and the intensity as we get further in this game and draw potential penalties later on.
But if you're the Ice Pack here, you can't get goaded into it. That's exactly what Drew Smith wanted. You could tell from the time he took the shot, he knew there wasn't going to be a rebound. He wanted to go in and create a little bit of adversity there, a little bit of conflict, and try to get NC State to take a penalty after the whistle. And the Ice Pack, they do a good job. They go over there, let them know they didn't like it, but they don't cross the line.
No, they don't, but now it's UNC's chance to potentially generate some noise. The band's got them playing their fight song. And it's on their end as well. Good opportunity here as they're going to kick Langston out, I believe.
Top line out there for the Heels as well. Patrick O'Shaughnessy will take the faceoff. One to the wall. Will Smith trying to chip it down deep. He eventually sends it all the way around the wall to the near side. Langston plays it back down low. NC State looking for space to break out. Spun around the wall by Weglars. He's got a teammate there in Johnson. Move forward for Gifford. He's going to skate it through the neutral zone. NC State's way offside. Langston didn't see where the puck was when he turned in.
No, he didn't. It was just a long turn. I think he was expecting that puck to enter the zone quicker, and NC State's going to quickly roll out that senior fourth line, McEnany, Oliver, Robinson. I believe that the first line for UNC is still out there, still looking to get a point on the board in this weekend series.
Down to 6:19 on the third period clock. Nobody has put one on the board here yet in this period. It's been a very tightly contested third frame. Robinson finds space through the middle. He'll just shovel it down deep and go after it. Forced to the wall by Klonick. Turns into a four-man scrum as Robinson's ridden down from behind. He continues to be wrestled with, and I tell you, the officials have clearly put the whistles away. We've seen on both sides now, both teams with some pretty blatant infractions that have been let go by the wayside. Shot on goal, fought off by Toyer. Gilligan puts some pressure on as it's sent around the wall. Ma pinching in, gets some help at the blue line as Will Smith holds the zone, bouncing out in front. Gilligan got a piece of it, but not enough.
He's sneaky, Gilligan, isn't he? Second time he's nearly deflected one in.
5.5 to go. Pitchforked in now by O'Shaughnessy, right on Toyer, who directs it into the corner. Tar Heels need a change. NC State has some space here. Darlene back over to his defensive teammate, James. Looking forward, awkward bounce. This is going to give Prasma a chance. He'll walk in. Oh, just missed. A save made by Brown, who kept the left pad out and denied Prasma that insurance goal that NC State needs. Finch steals it away. He'll battle for it at the red line. Here comes Prasma again with Herman. Prasma walking in, shoots it high, and it'll come off the glass. Edwards looking up the near wall. It gets past Gilligan and out. This one will trickle in on goal, so no icing. As the Tar Heels catch a break.
Yeah, much needed change as well. 2 good opportunities from Prasma. Did a good stretch pass and just took a funky bounce. Got a little puck luck there. But now the Tar Heels are going to have possession. NC State needed a quick change.
Lifted out into the neutral zone. Knocked down by Sodden. NC State getting to it first. Thronson knocked off the puck. It's loose behind the goal. Thronson again. Forward for Finch. He's going to skate it out. Played forward just off the stick of Prasma. Brown comes out to play it to the wall. Kaufman to the puck first. He'll look down low. He's got Prasma there. Spun out in front. Off the side of the goal. It gets to Shook, but it's tied up in his skates.
Just couldn't find it there in between his skates.
Hilton comes away with it out of the scrum. Shook takes it right back. Looking for Kaufman. That one is knocked loose. Here comes Will Smith. Smith lugs it out. Threw a lot of pressure too. Smith stepping in. He gets tied up by Lapani, and NC State moves it over to the far side, and they clear.
Yeah, some UNC fans want to call there. Smith lost his balance going down. We got a blown edge. Goal comes off. They're going to stop it. Ooh. I don't know there, Chris.
Tar Heels might argue a little bit. You had the time to adjust it while the play went the other way. They definitely would have liked to go up the ice with that.
No, I know. And they're letting NC State substitute as well. Very, very interesting.
Down to 3 minutes and 41 seconds now. Fortunately for North Carolina, the faceoff will come out of the zone. But they are denied a chance to move back the other way with an NC State player down behind the play.
The net came off there, and Brown was trying to get it back on. We've seen sometimes this season, though, goal comes off a little bit, no immediate danger of a goal being scored. It's a good crunch there by Zayach on Johnson. The ref or goalie will put it back on, they'll approve of it, and they play on. Not there, though. Very interesting.
Tar Heels down the right wing. Smith has it knocked off his stick by Johnson. O'Shaughnessy turns it deep into the NC State zone. Well, we'll keep an eye on Lucas Brown. I would imagine in the next minute and a half or so, we're going to see him go to the bench.
And they're keeping that first line off there right now to give them some time to rest up.
Weglar's looking to clear. Held in by Zayach. Across for Gleason. He'll throw it wide of the net. Around the wall, back up to the blue line. It finds Florian Zayach. Under 3 to play now. Gleason working with it. Across, high slot. He's got O'Shaughnessy tied up nicely. NC State gets a man taking a high stick. That was Johnson, but he's able to clear anyhow and will play on.
There's too much traffic in front in terms of red jerseys for Isaac Toyer there. 3 or 4 players in those Raleigh jerseys that were causing traffic on their own goaltender. They've got to space out better defensively.
Edwards goes D to D. Forward for Cobber, on and off his stick. Sent right back by Lapani. Forward for Herman. As he gets it off the stick of Finch. Herman just protecting it down low. Beautiful move along the wall. Looking for Prasma in front. They can't connect. Daniel Prasma tries to force his way out in front. And it's on the side of the goal. The fans back behind the net thought it went in, but it's stuck on the side of the goal.
Yeah, they did that earlier when Roy was here commentating, and it was clearly off the side. But 2:16, what a move from Zach Herman to get down there. Prasma, though, just not on the same page. As the band sets the tone here, 2:16 to go. And a timeout UNC. They've got to win this draw and get Brown off ASAP, in my opinion, here. With 2:16 to go, NC State's going to try to chew clock. but you can't play to not lose. If you're NC State, you saw what happened on Friday. North Carolina did that. It cost them a potential regulation win. They got the win in overtime. If you're NC State, the way you played all season long in third period games, 1-goal games this season, they're 5-6. Can't have it here.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to do, you got to be careful. I've mentioned it a couple times. The officials are very, very reluctant here in this third period to make a call that's going to, one's going to upset half of the people here one way or another, and two, they don't want to decide a game. But at the same time, if it's a penalty, it's a penalty. And if you're NC State, you got to be careful because it always seems like, regardless of whether it's NHL, whether it's somewhere in the minor leagues, college hockey, youth hockey, there's a call that comes along. And if you're NC State, you don't want to put yourself in a position to be the team that gets called.
No, you don't. And this season, it's been NC State. I think they've done a fantastic job today not taking penalties. Just one penalty for each team, believe it or not, other than, of course, the two that were on. Look at those fans stressed all the way up. Other than, of course, the two matching minors that created a 4-on-4 to start the period. You don't want them to take the second one right here to go on the penalty kill for either team.
Looks like the excitement hasn't kept that fan away. Everybody else is, though. Back underway as North Carolina wins the draw. Drew Smith just going to skate it out himself. Plays it across.
Here comes
Brown's
Brown.
already headed to the bench. Empty net for the Tar Heels. They'll go to work. Poked out in front. Finch cleans up the rebound and sends it to the far wall. 6-on-5 now with the empty net. Hilton down the wall. Has a man behind the goal, Gingras. Back up for Hilton. We're down to 1:54 on the clock. Spinning with it there is Hilton. Looking for some help up high. Finds Zukowski. Both fan bases getting loud. Shot from the point from Smith doesn't go. Outletted for Prasma. Here he goes. Takes a shot. There it is. Empty netter for Daniel Prasma. NC State leads 3-1.
Who else but the leading goal scorer for the NC State Icepack, Daniel Prasma, for a dagger into the heart of the Tar Heel fans. Just kind of scored it out to center ice. Drew Smith hustling as far as he could go. Just couldn't get there far enough, and Prasma fired up, jumping into the bench. A lot of Carolina blue headed to the exits. A lot of keys up for the fans in red as the Icepack take a 3-1 lead, looking to end this 2-game Governor's Cup skid and 2-game season skid against the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Nick Shook to the puck now. We'll keep an eye on Brown. He might be headed off again soon.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to. This is big for playoff seeding as well in terms of North Carolina and regionals next week. Or excuse me, ACC HL tournament next week. And he's coming right now.
Sent in deep by the Tar Heels again. Sodden gets to it, or pardon me, James to it. There are 3 Tar Heels. They are the battle for it. Kaufman in to help along with Darlene. Down to the final minute of this third period. NC State with the 3-1 lead. Swept out now. This one all the way down and in. Darlene with his second this weekend and his second for the Icepack.
Well, the first iteration of the Roy Cooper Governor Cup is going to the NC State Icepack. They do a great job tying it up, almost like how Florida beat Edmonton in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup this past year. And then Darlene finds it, squirts him. He's going to send it down the full length of the ice. A beautiful shot from that distance. 4-1 Icepack. They can feel the Governor's Cup coming back to Raleigh.
Well, and now Lucas Brown will stay in the net. McEnany breaks it out. 35 seconds to go. The Icepack looking for more. In comes Zach Robinson. Looking to the middle. Has a man open. Shot wide by McEnany in the slot. Gleason to the rebound for the Tar Heels. He'll be forced off the puck by McEnany. Zajic to it behind the goal.
And how about this line right now for Tim Healy, his seniors. Their final game here in Lenovo Center. He's going to keep them on the ice for the final 13 seconds of a Governor's Cup victory.
It'll be shoveled out by Gleason all the way down. This one is going to be waved off of icing. The final clock will run out, and NC State, after 2 years without it, get the Governor's Cup back from the Tar Heels.
And they're mobbing their goaltender, Isaac Toyer, who played a phenomenal game tonight, as Roy Cooper is set to give the Governor's Cup to the school that he grew up hating, NC State, a UNC legend, of course. Well, what a performance from NC State. The way they played ever since the second semester started here in the spring, they just didn't look like themselves. They didn't look cohesive. The defense tonight was the story for the Ice Pack. Not a lot of great chances for UNC, and when they were, Isaac Toyer played a strong game. I think Toyer played probably one of, if not the best game of his season. And NC State will welcome that Governor's Cup back into Invisalign Arena.
And you look at the score shows 4-1.
It was much closer than that.
Exactly. The score does not tell the whole story. You got to give a lot of credit to this Tar Heel squad. They kept it tight all the way, and it wasn't until the net was empty that NC State put another one in the net.
No, it wasn't. And how about NC State, though? They needed that win, I think. Just the way the rankings were going, the way their skids have been going. 1-goal games this season, they were struggling, and with a minute 30, it looked like it was going to be another one of those, but 2 empty netters, Prasma, Darlene, 2 freshmen getting it done. The freshmen had to step up all season long, and the Ice Pack rely on their freshmen and their seniors to get it done.
Well, as we get ready for the Governor's Cup to be presented to NC State, got to give a big shout out to everyone who has helped us here with Pack TV, put on these awesome broadcasts this season. Tonight's director, Carl Walton, our technical directors, Alyssa Cinta and Walker Rogers, our camera people, Ukersh Duvet, Trevor Albrecht, Bennett Best out there tonight, as well as everyone else who has helped out, Lily Smith, Colin Lawrence, Jackson Burns, Delaney Kearns, Emily Saliga, and Ava Sadam have all done a fantastic job helping put this production together. Got to thank you as well, my man Nick Perazzi, the partner I've had for this season. It's been fantastic. And a huge shout out as well to what I would call our executive producers in BJ Atarian and Brandon Boucher, who really do a great job behind the scenes putting all of this together. But as we go back down to the ice, Zach Herman going to take the Roy Cooper Governor's Cup from Roy Cooper himself.
How about that? We had Cooper on earlier. And for the first time in 3 years, the Ice Pack have the Governor's Cup.
Well, NC State will celebrate at center ice as they cap off their regular season with a big win over the Tar Heels. We'll be back post-game after this. NC State, 4-1 winners over the Tar Heels.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better. Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers. Hot springs, hot chocolate, hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons, hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese.
Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
My name is Zach Herman. I'm the captain of the NC State Ice Pack, and I was born and raised in the Raleigh area. We are a self-funded program doing our best to represent our university and the local hockey community in Raleigh on a national level.
My name is Alex James, and I'm a senior assistant captain from Lake Norman, North Carolina. The group you're watching out on the ice is a family, and that family does its best to represent you and the rest of the NC State community as best we can each and every day. Some of my top memories from this program include playing in front of over 20,000 NC State fans at Carter Finley, playing in front of over 10,000 NC State fans at Lenovo Center every year, and getting to play in front of a packed house every Friday night at Invisalign Arena.
We welcome and appreciate all your support along the way. Go Pack!
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport. And we're fighting for you.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Experience matters. Visit Gladwell Orthodontics for your complimentary new patient exam. North Carolina's #1 Invisalign provider. Let us show you why you are a candidate for Invisalign.
Well, the Ice Pack get their redemption here on this Sunday evening. 4-1 winners over the North Carolina Tar Heels as they take home the Roy Cooper Governor's Cup. Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi with you here post-game, and NC State really had to grind it out in the third.
They did, and UNC's forecheck was getting back to how it was working the previous 5 periods of this series, and then, of course, the overtime as well. And then NC State's adjustments, so later in that period, they just limited what UNC could do on the offensive end. They didn't give them a lot of opportunities in front, and when they did, UNC was missing that next body to get there. I think a lot of missed opportunities for UNC today, and a lot of great defense for NC State. And then as time winded down, NC State really picked up the intensity, nearly had a couple insurance goals from Daniel Prasma, Zach Herman, but it was Prasma with the empty netter. That was the dagger. And then, of course, Darlene, as we take a look at the highlights here.
But you got to give a lot of credit to the Tar Heels as well, the way that they fought. They did a great job of keeping themselves in this game. And we get another look at a great chance here. You mentioned Prasma. Yeah. He was all over the ice tonight.
He was. He was just a fantastic player in terms of just getting down there with this hustle. Adam Zukowski for UNC was like that most of the game. And then, of course, though, Prasma, the empty netter, the one that gave NC State the Governor's Cup back, slammed into the boards as a celebration. But how about this shot from Darlene all the way down, empty netter, found the biscuit in the basket. Just a beautiful shot. But again, got to give credit to UNC though. They had to play a different style of hockey they're used to these past 2 days. They kept it low scoring. They did a fantastic job. I think there was just some offensive miscues tonight that prevented them from bringing the Governor's Cup back to UNC for the third time in the 3 years and a sweep of NC State.
Well, one thing that I talked about with Roy Cooper during that first period that he hit home on a lot was the growth of the game in the area and the growth of this rivalry and this game in particular, the Governor's Cup. And when you look at the results we've had recently between these two teams, I think that's just as important. If the games are 6-1, 7-1, if they're not close games, you won't have as many people out here filling almost to capacity the lower bowl for a game like this. So to have that many people here is a testament to how good of a game it is and how good these two teams match up together.
First Governor's Cup I attended was in 2021. Of course, COVID was implicating things. That whole half of the stadium was the only seating. Where we are right now, there was nobody in front of us. And during today's game, this side was probably had more people than the other side did. 2 years ago, the crowd started filling up a little bit more. They let things go all the way to the corners. And then last year, the whole lower bowl was opened up, had a fantastic crowd. We might have gotten a bigger crowd tonight, especially since we played a weekend game on a Sunday when football has ended as well. A lot of people coming out. The growth of the sport here in this area, Invisalign Arena, the Junior Hurricanes, the Hurricanes themselves, the two programs that we have, NC State and UNC, doing a fantastic job growing the game. Bunch of other youth leagues I can mention, but hockey is a destination point here in Raleigh, North Carolina now.
Well, NC State wraps up the regular season with a win at the Governor's Cup. 4-1 over North Carolina. We'll wrap things up on the other side. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you after a 4-1 victory for the NC State Ice Pack over the North Carolina Tar Heels. Ice Pack taking home the Governor's Cup. Nick, and a nice step here for NC State. We've talked about it throughout the course of the season. Just not the consistent play through 60 minutes, missing some discipline and just some mental mistakes at times. But it felt like today it might have been, outside of maybe that Army game back in Fayetteville, the most complete game that they've played so far.
And again, going back to that Army game, like you mentioned, the best close game that they've played, I think, this whole season. The issues for NC State coming back from the winter break, 3 games that they had really leads in that they all blew. And you had the 2 Liberty games, Virginia Tech, UNC. That's actually 4 games, if I can count right. You didn't have a lead against UNC, but three games you had a lead in that you blew. 4 games that went into overtime or shootout that you lost. It was just a bad stretch of hockey for NC State. A lot of frustrations in that locker room, but they put it all together for today's game. I think they played a very, very good hockey team against a team that just threw the kitchen sink at them today. Completely different look for UNC from where they faced them in October. And with their backs against the wall, potential sweep from their arch rivals who Tim Healy never wants to lose to, potential 3 straight years without the Governor's Cup, NC State was up to the task, and they got it done.
Well, now they turn their attention to the postseason. In all likelihood, it'd be a shock if they didn't find their way into regionals, but now playing for that bye in regionals, just outside of that 6th spot right now, but a win today and a good showing in the ACCHL playoffs next weekend could help them up into that bye spot.
Yeah, and we were talking with social media director Harrison Eaton as well as assistant coach Alex Fong before the game, saying more than likely going to have to play Penn State and Virginia Tech in the ACCHL. They might have to play the UNC Tar Heels as well. So the job's not done yet for NC State. They lost in the finals last year against Rowan because they didn't get a good seed. They had to play that late night game, the very last game of the day, multiple times, and that's why they didn't get it done. But should be a sight to see as the playoffs come around. And Chris, our final broadcast of this season.
Yeah, and with that note, big thank you again to our crew behind the scenes all year, making us look good on the air. A thank you as well to both of these teams, and of course to NC State, who we get to see a lot, opening their teams up, helping us to do what we need to do to put on a broadcast. So a big thank you to everybody, and that will wrap it up for us here this season. Postseason ahead for both North Carolina and NC State, but tonight, NC State takes home the Governor's Cup as the Ice Pack take down the Tar Heels 4-1.